Oh, look. There he is. What the hell are you doing? I don't know about you, Joe.
I'm
You always do some weird
sorry.
stuff.
I was trying to pin the link. There we go. Yeah, I was trying to pin the link. There it is.
There it is. You pinned it?
So here we are. It's the last day of the year, and this is the insane asylum. Sorry we started a little late. It's all Mark's fault.
It is my fault.
Yep.
But it's only 3 minutes late.
Yeah, well, 3 minutes is 3 minutes.
Hey, I had to go get my crush and I had to get my whiskey so I can make whiskey crushes.
Whiskey crushes with. Okay. What the hell?
It's orange crush and Canadian or Kentucky bourbon.
How do I turn this off?
I don't know. Hi, Dale.
How you doing,
Hey guys,
Dale?
how you
Oh,
good? How you doing?
pretty good. How was your holidays?
Good.
Uh, kind of boring because you didn't have a lot of people over,
Yeah,
but maybe next year we'll see.
yeah. We didn't have a big thing either. We just had the grandkids over here. So but that was it. Just the five grandkids. Two of them didn't stay for very long. The other three were here every Friday for the 3 weeks before Christmas Eve, baking cookies with Grandma. So,
Yeah,
and
that's
then
what
Mark,
my wife bakes a lot of cookies too, and sweets and everything, and put
that's
pounds on me for the new year.
yeah, yeah. Mark cooked dinner for us Christmas Day.
That's
So we went
nice.
over. We went over and had dinner at Mark's on Christmas Day. So that was pretty cool. So that was
Yeah,
about all
because
we did.
it was just me and my wife with Christmas dinner, so that's how it is.
Yeah, yeah. That's how it goes sometimes. I mean, not much you can do when all this shit's still going around. This COVID crap, and it seems to be getting worse again, and
Yeah,
spiking
they
all
they
over the.
showed a map here recently on one of the news programs, and it said that they had different colors for no COVID, a little bit moderate, and red, and the whole country was red.
Really?
Yeah. So I got a feeling if this keeps up, we're going to be heading for another lockdown.
I hope not. I hope not. I barely made it through that first one.
Yeah.
I mean, I can
No.
hibernate through the winter time just fine. But man, when summer and spring starts coming and it gets warmer, I want to be out on the road going to places.
Well, I think if they basically lock down for a month or even a month and a half during the wintertime, I mean, who cares? I mean, I don't care because I don't do much during the wintertime. By spring, maybe if we do this and more people get vaccinated, then maybe by spring we'll be well out of the lockout. You know,
Good possibility.
so not that I'm looking forward to another lockdown, but I mean, I went through it before, came through with flying colors, me and my wife both. So I don't want to get sick. I don't want my wife to get sick. So
Mm-mm.
I mean, look at all the sports teams that are getting postponed.
Yeah, I've
Hockey.
seen that.
I mean, look at hockey. It's crazy.
Yeah, all the hockey teams actually from Canada are pretty much locked down right now.
Yeah. The thing that kind of amazes me, I mean, if you're familiar with the Chicago Blackhawks, they play in the same stadium as Chicago Bulls. And the
Mhm.
Chicago Bulls are still playing, but the Blackhawks aren't. So, I don't know.
Yeah, it didn't. Yeah.
But that's kind of what I kind of do this time of the year is I watch football and hockey. It's my two big things. Football, so far, they might have a couple of people, 10 people, 10, 12 people, then they go in quarantine and they come back. But they don't shut everything down, unless the whole freaking team got sick, then they might do that. So,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
with
watch
with
much
football
sport.
you don't have the bloodshed.
You don't have what?
You don't have the bloodshed.
that you do with hockey. Hockey's
Oh,
a fun
well,
sport.
there's more physical contact, I think, with basketball because everybody's touching the same ball.
Well, they are with football too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they, it's wide receivers, quarterbacks, running backs, the rest of the team does it usually. But I mean,
Hockey, they're just using a puck and sticks, so they're not actually touching anything all the time.
Hi, Cassie.
How you doing,
I
Cassie?
don't.
How
I
was
was
your
told
holiday?
7. I'm sorry.
What are you sorry for?
I was told 7 o'clock. I thought Janet would be on. I don't want to interrupt your current
Oh
guest.
no, it's 6 o'clock Central. You're an hour ahead of us.
Yeah,
Right.
it's 7 o'clock her
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, we just
That's why
started.
she said 7 o'clock. So yeah, we just started, Cassie.
Oh, should I back out and let you continue?
Oh, that's fine.
No,
Anybody can join. That's why it's open mic.
That's
in.
Mike. So
So how was
Last
your
show of the
holiday?
year.
How was your holiday?
Mine sucked. Today I just had Christmas. My whole family was down with COVID, so.
Ooh,
Damn.
ouch.
Well, I'm not sure it was all COVID. It was half COVID, half sinus infections, half upper respiratory. One positive, the rest were negative, but everybody was sick.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Kind of seems it goes that way.
hmm
see, Mark's making me hungry, so he's forcing me to eat over here.
I just
I'm
got
sorry.
done. Like I said, we just had our Christmas tonight, so I've ate enough.
I made enchilada bake.
Okay. Cool.
It's real simple. It's something I came up with. It's just basically your enchilada sauce in the bottom of the pan. You can use either flour or corn tortillas. I use corn tortillas tonight. Put a layer of that. Put a layer of taco meat, some cheese, more sauce, another layer of tortillas. It's kind of like an enchilada lasagna.
I was gonna say I've made that before, but I called it Mexican lasagna.
Yep, that's about what it is. What's that, Joe?
I like her idea better. What it's called.
Oh, Mexican lasagna.
Yeah, makes more sense.
You might have noticed that I tilted the camera a little bit just so I can get my ghost buddy in the background there. He's watching over my shoulder. A couple of them, actually.
Nothing wrong with that.
I made split pea soup and biscuits.
Oh, split pea soup. I love split pea soup.
Yeah, we had to use that ham bone. I always make something with the ham bone from Christmas. So I didn't see them for Christmas. I said, bring me the ham bone and I'll make something for New Year's Eve. So I made split pea soup and biscuits, and we had strawberry rhubarb pie.
See, my wife made we had a spiral ham for Christmas, and she makes cheese au gratin potatoes scratch, which is really out of this world. And then she'll take the ham bone, and then she'll make navy bean soup.
Yeah. Bean soup is a Southern tradition to bring good luck to the new year.
No, the only thing I made this year for holidays was a cheesecake. And
Oh, I like cheesecake.
well, it's not really a cheesecake. It was kind of like a cheesecake of my own invention.
It turned out pretty good, except for the crust was a little bit
thick
on the tough side.
Yeah, well, that's because
It was a little bit. It was a little thick, thicker.
Yeah.
It should have been.
Yeah,
but it was good.
We made a Nilla wafer crust, and then I put a cheesecake on top with crunched up beef cookies inside.
Nice.
And then I had a chocolate mousse on top of that, a chocolate mousse layer on top of that with crunched up Dove mint candies. And then on top of that, there was crumpled Oreo cookies.
But you know, for the life of me, I can't figure out how he got that mousse dipped in that chocolate.
Well, it sounds right up my alley.
Sounds to me like a diabetic overdose.
I'm not diabetic yet, so.
I'm a diabetic, so I got to watch what I eat. But you know,
Yeah,
I can splurge a little bit, you know, and just, you know, my sugar's well in control. So
Yeah, I've got mine pretty well in control too. So
I've been lucky. I've been lucky so far not to be diagnosed with
so
diabetic of any type.
so now I'm sitting
It
here.
runs in my family. My mom and dad were both diabetics. My brother's, what is he? What do they call that? Mark. What do they call what Dwayne is?
I don't know. An
He's like the
idiot,
opposite.
an asshole, a jerk off.
Hypoglycemic.
Oh, hypoglycemic. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, Janet.
I would have
Sorry,
got there eventually.
stepped in soon. I had to tell Janet, sorry. She told me to wait till it was our time. And I'm messing trying to get in. I've been all over your website and was looking for the page. I couldn't get in. She shared the link. I couldn't get in. And then all of a sudden I was on the show and went, oops.
It's okay. It's open. Open mic. You can come in anytime.
Awesome.
You should
I
share
was
the link
hoping-
on your page because I had a really
Tell
difficult
him
time.
that. He's the one that's running that mess.
To the comments, if you're watching, it's pinned in there in the comments. Facebook.
But no, I wanted you two on because I wanted to find out how your event went.
Yeah. How'd that event go?
You know, we didn't really get into any of that and get to hear much of that. I want to know how your fundraiser went and everything.
No, it was awesome. Everybody had a laugh.
Yeah. We had one negative comment. We had one negative comment, and it was more like a wedding. And I'm like, that's exactly what we were going for. Because who doesn't have fun at weddings?
Yeah.
well, you
No,
can't
it
please
was
everybody
great.
all the time, but you
We
please
had-
people most of the time.
We had about 70 people there,
Wow.
Cool.
10 different ghost hunting groups. We had the author of the new Eloise book. She was there.
Troy.
Yeah. We had the staff from Eloise there. And our special guest was Krampus. Everybody enjoyed that. I think they were, because of the name of the event, Meet and Mingle for Kris Kringle, I think everybody was assuming that our surprise guest would have been Santa. But no, we brought out Krampus.
Yeah, but you also said that it was like a paranormal Christmas party, so people.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. We had over 50 raffles. I couldn't believe how many people responded.
Wow.
And thank you
And
guys
thank
again for your contribution to the
Yeah.
raffle.
Glad to do it.
And
Too bad it couldn't have been more, but we're just getting started with.
Oh.
Oh no.
I
That was a
didn't
lot.
win it, but my cousin won it and loved it. So
She did.
That's all him on that.
But it was great how the whole paranormal society just came together, sent raffles, came to the event, had fun, took their gear off, and just had a good time with each other. And
Yep.
it was wonderful.
Did some
Dancing,
investigating.
mingling.
You raised some money for a good cause.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody keeps asking though about next year.
did you did you have it there at Eloise?
no.
No, we didn't. We rented
did
it
it
at the
all.
mall.
Okay.
With the DJ and dancing and dinner and drinks and raffles, and it was a blast. People had fun. And thank God, I think we were a week in the clear because in Michigan, all of our urgent cares, hospitals, doctor's office, everybody's getting tested. This new it's rampant here. But we
Yeah.
must have just missed the explosion because not one person caught
Yeah,
that shit at our event.
Thank you.
That was important.
Yeah, that new variant, the Omicron,
Mhm.
that just showed up about 2 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, and man, that thing has, like you said, has just run rampant.
Exploded.
Well, they determined it to be 70 times more contagious than the Delta variant, and the Delta variant's like 10 times or 20 times more contagious than the original one. So
I
that
know
just makes
the
it
last
that much more.
I lost 2 people in the last 3 weeks to COVID,
Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry.
and hospitalizations and hospitalizations to aftercare therapy.
Mhm.
It's
Crazy.
crazy.
Yeah.
Well, at least so far you guys are doing good.
Yep, knock on
At
wood.
least all 5 of us are.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I, I tell you, none of that COVID shit or anything's gonna touch me. You know, I smoke too much pot. By the time it gets to me, that shit's dead anyways. Or too
Yeah.
stoned to find its way.
No, I don't
I'm
think so.
shocked because
No, I
I
got
am a smoker. I am unvaccinated, and I've been exposed several times, never caught it. And there is
You have been fortunate.
I have
Mhm.
been, and my cousin did tell me, who's a doctor. She said, I don't know. There are studies saying that nicotine users, COVID does not like nicotine. However, if you do get it and it attaches you, you will not be in a good place. But who's to say that's not what's kept it away?
That you never know.
I went and got the shot. I went and got vaccinated. I always believe better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah,
I believe to each their own.
Right.
yeah. No, it
You know,
everybody has their own thoughts on it.
after what I went through and how the science saved my life and that early research saved my life, I tend to believe in the science of things.
Yep.
So it's just personal experience.
Yeah.
I wish they would have used previous science and followed that science, which would have been more convincing for me, but that's a whole nother show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
It's more of a
China
mini
has a
series.
vaccine. China has a vaccine that is not using the mRNA. It's using traditional
Yeah.
vaccination methods.
That's like the AstraZeneca and the Johnson and Johnson. Those use the traditional methods. The Moderna and the Pfizer all use the RNA.
Right. However, if I do break down and join the group, I'm probably going to do Moderna.
Well, I got all 3 of the Pfizer. So I've got the 2 originals and then the booster. So
How was your effects with it?
minimal,
Good.
very very minimal.
I just had a little
Sore
sore.
arm. Felt like
Yeah,
somebody
that's it.
hit me in the arm a couple of
Sore
times.
arm. That's all I
I
had.
got all 3 and basically nothing. I got no
Yeah.
no side effects at all. But I got the Pfizer.
Okay.
I think actually the Pfizer, when it first came out, that was the first one to come out. It had better studies, better clinical trials, and it also had a better efficacy, towards controlling the virus than the Moderna. I've heard people that have gotten the Moderna, they've gotten, mild symptoms, they've gotten headaches and things of that nature. But everybody I talked to, they got the Pfizer, usually had most, if anything, they had a sore arm. That's about it.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
I got the Moderna.
You got
And
Moderna?
yeah. It didn't phase me in any way either, except for the sore arm. I was fine.
But I mean,
Except for with the booster. The booster, I slept for like 3 days. I was just so tired. Could not get enough sleep.
I
I
heard
think.
Moderna is the most effective on Omicron.
Well, they're both very very effective on the Omicron. It's just Moderna has just a slight better response to it than Pfizer does. But it's still these
Yeah.
the vaccines that we have right now have actually been in production for the last 20 years because um, the COVID-19 or coronavirus had a lot of similarities to SARS and AIDS.
Well, that's what it is.
It's almost
Sorry.
like this
It's
is
a
how it
clone.
was explained to me by an actual scientist that was working on it that I delivered to. It was almost as if AIDS and SARS got together and had a child. So it just took a little tweaking of the RNA and the other um, traditional way to get the vaccines that we have now.
Except that sounds like it naturally happened, and I in no way, shape, or form believe this is a natural virus. But that's just me.
Well, like you said before, to each their own. I, I just
Bio warfare.
I tend to believe the science that's out there, and most of the time, I also tend to believe that our government does have a lot of conspiracies or cover up shit because I know there are UFOs out there,
I was going to
and
say,
they
you
are
said
not letting us know shit about
this
UFOs.
study's been going on for 20 years. No, the plan of annihilation's been going on for 20 years.
Have any of you guys watched Paranormal Disclassified?
Declassified?
Yeah.
I think I have seen some of those.
Oh
that
my
you're
God.
talking about.
I just finally checked it out last night, and that is a pretty good show. You guys are going to have to check that out.
Yeah,
That was the one, if you remember, Mark, I sent you guys about the Bray Road.
yeah.
That was
Yeah.
Paranormal
I
Declassified.
think I watched that one.
Yeah, that was a good interview. The owner showed some interesting stuff out there, like those. Thing that really amazed me when they showed those footprints in the snow that suddenly stopped, and they didn't go anywhere else. They just
Right.
stopped in the middle of the.
That yeah. And
That's-
then the ones that Lee has where it looks like a single like set that just goes right in front of one or the other and then it splits.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah.
that experience we had out there that night, that last night we were out there, it was the three of us. Man, I tell you what, that just makes me want to go back more.
Oh hell yeah.
I mean, after what happened to us that night, I mean, it was just amazing. That was probably the most activity we've actually seen on that land.
Well, if you remember, I was using the thermal tablets. Flare.
Right. Yeah, you were using the better because we
I
got a better
literally
picture.
caught something, right at the edge of the cornfield, and that's just where Mark had just walked through momentarily, just before that, I guess, and it looked like a person standing there, something on 2 feet, like a bipedal,
Bipedal,
I guess you'd call it. But when we were looking through the binoculars and I'm shining the flashlight, there's nothing there. And then all of a sudden, this thing starts walking, kind of towards us, kind of like up towards the barn. And again, there's nothing there. And it's just crazy. I mean, how can you have something that shows up on the flare but doesn't show up to the naked eye?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then you and Joe were watching it on the FLIR, and I decided to take a nice little walk down the trail going down the other end. And then you guys lost track of it.
Yeah, you could hear us losing track of it, trying to find it again on his tablet FLIR. And both of us were thinking maybe it was following Mark, walking through the cornfield following Mark because he was
And
walking.
if you listen to the audio, their audio, you can hear them saying that they lost track of it. My audio, you can hear me talking to whatever the hell was following me in the cornfield.
Wow.
So is Dale a member of your team?
No.
No, he has his own team
Dale's
down in
more like a
Illinois,
mentor.
and
been
he's
doing
kind of a
this
mentor
forever.
to us.
All right.
So in the audio, I mean, you can hear when they lose it, and then when I start talking to it, it's right around the same time.
Huh.
It's a full with running the audio and listening to it. It's an absolute full. What's the word I'm looking for? Verification. It's a full verification of of something being there and us not knowing
Well,
what the hell
and
it
then that
was.
fog was just the way that fog rolled in and then rolled back
Yeah,
out.
that was creepy.
So
That was
unusual.
creepy.
Yeah, that
And
was
those-
really
and those
creepy.
lights we saw in the sky that I
Right.
taped. Yeah, we thought. I think we later might have debunked them. Some of
No,
them.
that was an airplane because we
An
kept
airplane, but I
watching
mean,
it and it
just
did
the
come
way
in
it
and
was in the sky was really like not moving at all.
it
And
didn't look like it was moving because it was coming towards us.
yeah,
Like directly towards us, which was kind of
well,
strange.
see, that's the second time now we've had some. At least when I've been working with you guys, the second time we had an experience in a cornfield. I mean, the Bray Road was one, but remember as we were walking up towards the Buddy Holly crash site,
Cornfields are spooky.
That
was-
first
it
thing
was
out
what?
in Iowa, you invited us to that one.
it was probably the most humid, hot day that I've ever been. I was literally
It was like
sunscorched.
July 20th or something like that.
Yeah.
And we're walking down the trail, which is about almost a half a mile, it seemed like to me. And all of a sudden, to our left out of the cornfield, we get a blast of ice cold air comes out of that.
Wow.
I remember that.
My team just
Mikey actually stopped.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, that feels so good.
so
So
I don't know.
you guys were children of the corn meets AARP.
Possibly. Just looking for crop circles there.
That was a good site. That was a good place to go. Just not just because of the possible paranormal activity, but just because I was a fan of music, and be at the site where the day the music died, and that was just an honor all of itself.
Right.
So here, I got a question for you, Dale. Did Joe ever get that audio over to you?
No.
Okay. Because he's got a copy of it. I made sure he got a copy of it. And I think he's already set up to.
Hey, Joe, I got to bang you on the head a little bit.
I know. I get behind that so many things.
Because I mean, it was creepy. Because see, you got to remember too, the way we were situated walking down that trail. When this happened in the wintertime, so there was no corn. I mean, the cornfields were flattened.
Yeah. The whole field was just empty with just snow in there.
And a couple of the bodies were actually, all three of the bodies were ejected except the pilot. Buddy Holly and Big Bopper and Richie Valens were all ejected. The pilot was strapped in. So he was still in the cockpit when it crashed. But I believe it was Buddy Holly that was ejected over to the where that cold breeze came out of, which I thought was pretty significant. We were pretty close to where the plane actually went down.
Yeah, you had like a photocopy of a map or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a gruesome photograph that actually
he had photos.
Bodies.
Yeah, like a crime scene, like the whatever. Mark drinking. He warned.
Was that say Rebel Hill?
Yeah.
Rebel Yell? Rebel Yell.
Rebel Yell.
Yeah, that reminds me of Gettysburg.
That's what I got, Cass. I got the Sequence 7 going.
God damn it.
Thought you were coming over.
I just got plain old ginger ale.
On our show, Ghost Buzz, we have actual shot time. Everybody stops and does a shot.
I don't think.
You think on your Ghost Buzz you'd have me drinking this whole thing?
Huh?
Is that your goal for tonight, Mark? Drink that whole thing?
Hell no.
I don't think so.
This is 100 proof. I mixed 2 shots of that in a glass like this with Orange Crush. Orange Crush and Kentucky bourbon, and I call it a bourbon crush.
Bourbon Crush.
Mm-hmm.
You can keep your liquor.
That's kind of like what I used to drink. I used to drink Southern Comfort and 7-Up. You want to talk about a sweet drink? That's very sweet.
Oh, we used to
Well,
do
this
Southern
really
Comfort
isn't
and Mountain
sweet.
Dew.
Now, if I wanted it sweet, I would have Livewire Mountain Dew mixing it.
No, when drank Southern Comfort back in the day, we drank Southern Comfort and Mountain Dew.
Yep, I heard of
That
that.
was sweet. Oh,
Well, the drink back in the day that was with 7 Up was the Seagram 7 and 7.
that is my drink in the day. That is what I've resigned
So
to.
getting back to
That is
that audio real quick, if you guys got a sec here. I mean, I haven't heard it, but from what I've heard from Joe, is that you picked up the sound of some sort of a plane going overhead,
That's
and
what I would drink.
there were no planes going overhead when we were there.
Yeah.
Jose Cuervo tequila.
I had when we were out at the crash site, I had both my audio devices going. I had one with me. I had Lisa holding the other one. The other one failed. It didn't record anything, and I couldn't pull anything off of it. The one I had was working, and I was over kind of back and forth between you and Mikey. And where I picked it all up is when you turned on the Phasma box. It's just after you turn that on and you can start hearing stuff coming through. My audio, I had to step away from you just a little bit, and it was over a little further out. But on that audio, you can start hearing what sounds like a single engine airplane. And it's there for at least a minute to a minute and a half.
Wow.
And I don't recall ever seeing an airplane go through or even nearby. I don't even recall hearing one. And I'm sure if I would have heard one, considering where we were and what we were out there doing, I would have looked up, located it, and then said something.
Yeah, acknowledged it somehow. Yeah.
right.
Well, that was on that jump drive you gave me, right?
Yeah, it was on that jump drive. Is that
And I don't know where I put it.
I'm gonna slap you. You know that, right?
Well, that would be unusual because it seems like every time I investigate with you guys, either you lose something or I lose something. I mean, I can't for the life of me, I cannot locate that FLIR footage from Bray Road.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
I know I downloaded it. You know, it's a default download to the SD card. And I checked the SD cards. I got to go through it one more time. I got to make sure it's not on the hard drive of the tablet. Or maybe I just accidentally put it into a wrong folder somewhere.
Yeah, you could have, but
but you all saw it. I mean, at least me and Joe saw it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
Because I also remember when you were picking that up, you weren't sure what it actually was.
Yeah.
And
I found it.
And we
hey, send it to me.
And we were trying to figure out what it actually was.
Yeah.
And I think one of us said something that it might be the camera stand, the camera on
tripod.
that stand there, the tripod.
Yeah.
But we proved that to not be true.
Yeah, I actually moved the flare over a little bit beyond where that thing was in the frame, and it was still
because that was Joe's camera. It was sitting in front of you, and yeah, we had to we actually debunked all that, trying to make sure that wasn't in the frame.
Yeah, I'd like to go back there again and really set up a lot of gear next time. I mean, seriously, just blanket the whole area with full spectrum cameras and SLS cameras, infrared cameras, the whole gamut. Just put it out there with a run.
The
laser grid would be good too.
Yeah,
but a lot of the stuff that he was picking up on his trail cameras was further down at the back side of the property too.
Yeah,
and then that photograph that I actually have on that of the paw print. that was taken in the cornfield next to him there, not the one we were at, but the other side, closer towards Bray Road. He found that in the cornfield there, and took that picture.
Yeah, wasn't there also some place
Yeah.
that he showed us that there was an area where he had found the carcass of of an animal or something out there, and I think as we kind of went, it was a pretty long little ride we took on
Yeah.
the hay ride.
It was the back side of the property.
Kind
It
of
was
went
the
to the
back.
square, and we started to come back out, and I think it was off to the left there.
Well,
Yeah.
it was the back side of his property is where it was, and he had actually he was putting the deer carcasses out there, and they
Yeah.
were
DNR
disappearing.
told him not to.
Right.
And then after like the 13th one, DNR is like, don't be doing that anymore because of the chronic wasting disease.
Right.
So, but the last carcass he had put out there, there was all different kinds of weird things happening to it. Where he put it out, he
I
actually
saw
put a cell
something
phone.
like that. Did
He
you
put a
have that
cell phone
on
around it.
media?
What was
Right.
that?
I
That
saw
was on one of our
something
shows where
on
we were
the
talking about
television or cable about that exact thing. Was it you? Did you have that out
Okay.
there?
Yes, we had it on one of our shows. We were talking about it where it was
No,
like
no.
free.
She probably seen Josh Gates's
Oh,
show.
yeah, that could be too.
The Destination Truth or whatever that is that Josh Gates does. He actually went out there. His first one for the season, he went out there and interviewed Lee, and got the story and everything. But he actually went as far as putting a cell phone, an Apple cell phone, in a bag on a collar type thing around this carcass's neck, or one of the carcass's neck.
Oh, yeah.
And then he tracked the phone, and it had literally moved from his property over to the other property and halfway out in the field. But this last carcass he was talking about, there was a set of trees, the small trees right next to it, and the head of the deer had been lifted and placed in between these trees and shoved down because they were close enough together that it wouldn't just, if you just dropped it, it wouldn't go all the way down. It had to be shoved down.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about, I believe.
Yeah. And he's got pictures of it. And there's one of the pictures I got to get a hold of him and get this picture because I want to check it out. I gotta run it through my program because I want to get it, enlarge it, bring it in real good. Because there's a part of it that you look at it when you first look at it. Okay, she's doing hand signals over here.
No, I'm not. That's not my handbook.
But when you first look at this picture, it looks like the back leg of the deer. But if you look at the picture a little closer and kind of look at it at a different kind of angle, it's not the back side of a deer. It's actually a tool of some sort that was fashioned from bone that's sticking out of the back of this deer.
Oh wow!
And Lee has this picture.
Yeah.
He snapped this picture, and I want to get a copy of it from him. He told me I could get one. I just got to.
This was the area. Right here was the area that the deer shoved.
Yeah, it was that tree right there, that section.
Right.
That is like that far.
It's not that.
It's like that much room in between.
It's amazing
That's
that
one
deer
of
carcass
It's
shoved
too
in there.
close together.
Yeah.
It's close enough together that if you put my foot in there, my foot would get wedged.
No, that's one of his trail cams, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what set that off?
Don't
I
know.
don't know.
Yeah, there's nothing in the picture.
No,
Yeah.
there's
The
nothing
only
in
thing
the
I can
picture.
think of, I mean, the thing about
these
trail
things-
cams, everything will set off with trail cam. So if you're sitting there and you see that branch all the way to the far left, if the wind blew and it moved, it probably snapped the picture.
Well,
It's-
yeah.
Yeah.
that's probably would've been what it
these
probably
trail
was.
cams are set up for thermal, any heat, or movement.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a combination
Offensive movement.
or if it has to be both. But the way he explained it, I understood it. It had to be both. for it to set
Okay.
that camera off. They're set up to snap 3 pictures simultaneously. So any of that happens, it'll snap 3 pictures, and
This one's still
they're
baffles me.
within second. Yeah, you got all those pictures too. I know.
That's the one that still baffles me.
That's the one when I first saw it. My first thought was the flying serpent of the Aztecs. Seriously, if he'll bring it in a little bit, you can see it.
See, the wings are all wrong for any kind of bird in this area that's native to this area.
If you see the head, the wings look like demon wings sweep back. That's the tail, and that would be the head.
Yeah.
The snake god of the Aztecs has wings similar to that, and a head that's as big as like a horse head, and that's exactly what that looks like.
It's just unfortunate that the more we try to zoom in on it, the blurrier it gets.
The blurrier it gets.
Yeah.
It's
I
more
don't know. I
complicated.
don't know if there's other programs out there that we can get to
Sharpen that up.
sharpen it. Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, I
yeah,
actually,
that's the kind of stuff that we were getting
I
over there.
actually have a few software programs that I could try if you guys want to send me the picture over.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Professional editing programs, and for pictures and for video.
it's just one of those things. It's one of those places that just it's amazing. It like I said before, another
There's
people,
so much
we weren't
going
the only
on.
ones that have named
Yeah.
it that, because we weren't the first ones that named it that, but they've been calling it like the Skinwalker Ranch of Wisconsin because of all the paranormal activity.
All the different
out
activity
there.
that's happening.
You know, the stuff in the sky, just the strange cryptids that have been appearing on the cameras now and then, the footprints that are being left to, almost everything you can
Cassie,
imagine.
okay?
It's like there's a portal on that
I'm
land.
sure she is.
Is she
So when I
doing
got
like?
done with the investigation with
I
you guys,
think it might have been, wait a minute, I'll be back in like 5 minutes or something.
Okay.
You were saying, Dale?
I was, when we got done with the investigation and I was heading back home, before I left, I said I wanted to drive up and down Bray Road a couple of times.
Right. How'd that go?
I basically put my camcorder, a night shot, on my dash, and with the headlights, it's perfect. Just driving down there, I drove back and forth several times. I reviewed it. I didn't see anything. I was hoping something would jump out in front of me. That would have been cool because I would have had video going. But it always, like when something happens, either you don't have access to it or you don't have your video or your cameras going at the same time. It's like they know that you're looking for them.
Exactly.
It kind of seems that way.
That's
Oh, and that night with my spotter scope that I got, remember? I caught that orb. It was weird. I set it up. I had the external battery hooked up so it had power, and I had the camera running and recording on my old cell phone. And I wasn't sure if I had it recording right, so I reached down, I grabbed the cell phone, and I played with it a little bit, and it's like, okay, so it paused, and then I turned it back on. So I realized I had it set right, so I reset it the right way, set it down, and it was 30 seconds after I set it down, reset it for recording and set it down, this orb literally flashing orb came real slow, just flashing right into frame, got about halfway, and then went up a little bit and went out of frame.
Really?
And I've reviewed that footage all the way through, and I don't think I caught anything else. It seems like that was the only thing.
And it couldn't have been a firefly, otherwise we would have been seeing them all over the place.
No, there was no fireflies out there. That was the one thing that was weird.
I didn't see any.
Right, that's what I'm saying. If it couldn't have been like a firefly, because they would have been all over the place and we would have been seeing them all night long.
And sorry to the skeptics, but dust does not flash like that.
I see it.
We reshared again one of our best pieces of evidence that I even forgot about. But I had company and I showed them on our YouTube channel, which is very limited with video.
Yeah.
And I showed them our residential piece of evidence. And our friend sat here and said, "Oh my God, that is like the best evidence I've ever seen." And I'm like, "Really?" Because it's yours. I guess you don't really look at it. And we got it and I shared it. And you just do it and you forget about it. But I looked at it again and it is an old farm home. And we have the SLS camera that picked up a figure in the bathroom. And the child that lived in the house, who was like, what, 8, 10?
No older than 10. Yeah.
I don't know. Not then. All right, we'll just say 10, give or take. But he was holding the SLS or the K2 meter. So we're filming the kid holding the K2 meter, which is lighting up, the SLS camera with the figure coming towards as we're saying, "Come on out, it's okay."
It's actually coming closer.
Yeah. And then we tell it, "Please touch the meter and make it go to red." And we're videoing the kid holding the meter and the SLS screen from another camera, getting it all in one shot. And you can see the figure in the SLS screen touch the meter, and then you can see the kid with nothing touch, like to your visual eye, and that meter go to red. And you can see it all happen.
Wow.
That's pretty.
That was
Yeah.
pretty damn amazing.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yes, it was creepy. I mean, it was cool when it's happening, but I hate when I'm on the SLS and they're like, "Oh, you got a figure next to you." I'm like, "What? Which side?" Go next to her. But that was amazing that you could see that figure come from the SLS camera and actually
Reach
touch
out.
the K2 and then
Yeah.
see the K2 meter light up. It was like, what? So there's definitely an entity there. And she's good with it. She didn't want it to go away.
That's cool.
Which is an interesting case because there's a barn on the property and it's like men get obsessed with the barn and want to stay there. And supposedly the original owners back in the 1800s, man was like a drinker and he stayed in the barn a lot, and the woman was the caretaker and she was like kind of beaten down a little bit by him and just like depressed mode, and he was an alcoholic and just always in the barn. And then come full circle, we were called out and this marriage broke up, and the husband in this day and age became like started sleeping in the barn, wouldn't leave the barn. It's like a repetitive attachment thing. It's like, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
So just an interesting story.
No, it is. It is. It's kind of strange, but we've got some weird footage too that we got from our first investigation, our first home investigation. Because that was after our first investigation, which was the area up around Sanatorium Hill in Madison. But our friend Tom, we went and investigated it at his house because they were having some activity there.
Yeah.
And I've got video. We have video from the attic put a camera in the attic because there was a trunk up there that had some items in it. And at the time, we didn't know a lot about the items, but it has a counterweight for the attic door because you got to take and push the attic door up to get up in. And there's a counterweight on a rope, and this rope or the counterweight. When I started to leave to go back down the stairs, the counterweight was moving.
Thank you.
And there's over an hour of video where even at the end, that counterweight is still moving, and it had actually at one point sped up. We got it on video.
How long ago was that?
No. But I gotta go in. You gotta go right now. A few more minutes, okay?
I don't know
Go.
how long ago that was. That was
Mute your mic, Jan.
I thought I did.
No, I knew you did. That's why I'm telling you.
well, I could have muted it. I could have reached up here and did it. But
That's
Here we go.
I think he found it.
Yes, the kid came in.
That's okay. We all have dealt with children in at one time or another.
What's your favorite color, Nana? So I can get my lip gloss.
Now this was up in the attic of this old house, and if you notice,
Yeah, you showed us that before.
Yeah, I've seen you
there's
show
one of
us
our.
that show.
That's one of the EMF meters. You don't hear it ever go off. But this thing never stopped moving.
And there was no breeze up there that was detected. I've got a little device that'll detect a breeze. If there's the slightest breeze in the area, it'll pick it up. And there was nothing up in this attic.
That's not no lightweight weight either.
No, it's not.
It's probably
lead.
about 10 pounds or so.
Yeah, and it's a heavy lead weight, like real old.
It's not. It's cast iron.
Or cast iron, that's what it was. And the house is what, 90, what was it, 94, 95 years old?
It's close to 100 years old.
Yeah, close to 100 years old by now. And that never stopped.
Is this the first video or the second video?
Of the attic? This is the only one of this.
No, there's two. I've got two videos of it.
Well, there's only one on YouTube. This is off.
Oh, that's on YouTube?
So this is both of them in one put together.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. And it does not stop. And at some point, it actually...
Actually, if you look at it, I'm looking at it, watching it. I don't know if Dale's seen it here. Joe, rewind it about 30 seconds. Right about there. Watch that weight.
Yeah, it's not swinging. It's
no. Watch the weight. Watch it. I don't know if it's the video causing this.
Like
it almost looks like it got pushed.
Yeah. I've seen that. It's like a whack.
I just noticed that. We've had this footage for all this time, and I just now really noticed that. Like I said, I don't know if it's because of the way the video looks, but there's a couple of times it actually looks like it got pushed again, like something pushed it.
Right.
Like right there. That was kind of weird.
Yeah, that's definitely
and then also throughout the video you can see these little, I don't know if they would be dust particles flying around, but you'll see them every now and then. They'll come up from around where the chest is and go up, and a couple of them will come towards the camera.
Yeah, a lot of
But
times
it's always around the chest. But being in an attic like that, it's kind of hard to say that it's an orb because
right. Yeah, you kind of just have to debunk it.
Well, it could be some kind of insect too flying around up there with that like old installation. you know, and the way that attic was built, you never know what could have gotten and fly around in there. But there was no bats, nothing else that we could see.
No, there
Right.
was no animals up there.
But when you look down at the opposite end of this attic, it was awfully creepy. You know, you got a real creepy, dark feeling up there.
Now you would think that this thing would actually slow down and stop
Or
at some
stop.
point, right? Within an hour.
It, we put
Yeah.
the camera up there, left, and after we did like our investigation of the basement, the kitchen area, and so on and so forth, the rest of the house and outside in that shed, we come back to retrieve the camera, and it's still moving.
Yeah. And we do have the footage of the basement area too. You see what appears to be orbs going into Joe's leg.
Crazy.
In basements and attics, I'm not saying anything about what you guys got, but for me as a rule, basement and attics, when you just run the light, there are so many little teeny tiny microbials that
Oh, I
just
know.
come up that I basically don't count any orb like thing as a unless it's doing something specific, but just floating or zigzagging, I don't. That's like a bug to me. One of them teeny tiny gnats or something.
Yeah, I lost track now. Rest
I
And I think only because we were actually in a basement and nobody saw this thing, and we were starting to look at something we caught. I think it was the one in Holly, or not Howell. And then all of a sudden, I'm like looking and looking and staring, and then all of a sudden, I see it, one little damn fly. So
Oh yeah, you're right. I remember that.
I'm like, see, these are not orbs. You don't see them, you don't hear them, but they're freaking there.
Because it did look weird for a minute, the way it was.
Because we kept rewinding it and watching it and looking, and we didn't see it. And then all of a sudden, the light hit it in just the right way, and we saw this little bzzz. And I'm like, you little bastard. We debunked so much stuff.
I'm trying to find the right one. And
I guess that's why. I don't know. We've debunked so many things that we've had, but there's no debunking the SLS and the meter lighting up at the same time while that thing's touching. You can't debunk that. You're watching it. I mean, we can't even. Well, we couldn't fake a video anyways, but we certainly wouldn't have the kind of knowledge to fake that. You know, I'm not that technical.
Computer dumb.
Yeah, the weird thing about the video though that I was talking about,
just had it.
the weird thing about that video is on one side there's no electrical. On the other side there is. And Joe had the EMF meter and he kept getting
Okay.
readings of EMF on the side that had no electrical.
Right.
Oh, it's backwards. I see what you did.
And then he put an audio recorder up on the shelf and hit the record button
Right where
and
I'm
it
putting
shut
that.
itself off.
This is where I'm putting that audio recorder up on that shelf right here. This is where I'm doing that right now. And I'm trying to make sure that it's on before I set it down and walk away.
Is that the spot?
Yeah, that's that little area.
No, that's the area, but is that the spot on the tape where you put that up there?
Yeah. I just walked
Because I don't remember you putting it up there or doing that log. But yeah, this is the weird part too.
Oh, I was checking something else out first before I set it down.
No, you were. I think at
using-
that point you were
I was
doing the
checking
EMF
EMF
meter.
stuff, right? And then I was putting the recorder down at some
Mhm.
point.
And see, I don't know if that was a dust particle that just whizzed by or what.
I think that's off of a flashlight.
No,
Yeah.
it was it was not a glare. It was a physical item that that whizzed by. And Tanya was using the camera recording you.
Yeah, but I had a flashlight in my hand. But you were seeing on the walls and stuff. That was a flashlight.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Joe in action. Mark, what you got? Did I mix you guys up again?
No, that's Joe.
Yeah.
Okay. I got it
I'm there
right.
behind him. I'm there behind him.
I'm just used to seeing you guys sitting there.
Yeah.
And that's before I got the good flashlights. I got flashlights now that'll freaking blind you.
Right. I have one of those.
And they're small. They're small ones.
Yeah.
They're little guys like this.
Yeah.
But they're bright enough. They take a rechargeable battery in them. But they're freaking bright enough. They'll literally blind your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Huey got me one. I still have yet to bring it to anything because I want to blind us.
That wasn't the orbs, though.
Yeah, you're too far into that tape for that.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, I'm not going to sit here and search all night. There's too much footage from that house.
I know.
That house was a very interesting house. And to this day, as far as we know, they're not living in that house.
All right.
Yeah, they moved out, I guess. I don't know if they're selling it or what, but
Well,
Are we going to buy it?
Molly got pinned down. So
yeah, from what Tom told us,
Holy shit.
whatever the hell's in there, it knocked Molly to the ground, his girlfriend, fiance.
and she's just a tiny little thing.
Yeah, she is a very tiny little thing, and supposedly it knocked her down and held her down.
And
See,
held her-
I'd be
Not
out.
only
too.
that,
Screw
not only
that.
that, I also gave them some crystals from my collection. These crystals are infused with energies that I put in there. Tom said that his crystal came up broken, snapped in half, broken half.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
See,
So
I'd be.
whatever's there is powerful enough to do that. Yeah.
and so they have been living too much with his parents, his mom, I think.
I think they've been staying with his mom.
They had Racine Paranormal in there for a while, and then they took all their equipment out and left and refused to come back. Don't know.
Were they skeptics?
No,
They're not
I
now.
maybe they just decided they didn't want to deal with whatever
Whatever it was.
in that house.
And then again,
No, I
then
don't
again,
fault them.
it
I
could
was
be
just
my
wondering if
it
they
could
were-
be partly my fault because I felt a negative energy in there, and when I come across things that I feel is going to be malicious, I will provoke it. I'll provoke for it to come after me,
And Racine Paranormal
and
is
I did. I provoked,
a good group,
and I'm not sure it may have stayed there.
but
The purpose of giving them those crystals was to kind of help to keep
So
the
if they
energies
were
down.
hurting it,
No, to keep the energies down and keep it from disturbing them.
well, that's what I was going at. Did you go provoke it and then, oh, here's some crystals now that I pissed your ghost off? Maybe these will help you.
No, I already had it planned for them to have those before I pissed it off. But I would like to go back up there and do another investigation in that house.
Well,
That's what we say about the Monroe house, even though it made me poop my pants.
they had this old shed. Here's the thing: they also had this old shed out in the backyard, like old, like like where you'd store like your rakes and your shovels,
Right.
and, lawnmower and that kind of shit, right? My wife was outside taking pictures. Nobody was smoking or anything, and she just snapped a few pictures with her cell phone real quick. And she just like, oh my God. And it looked like there was like tons of smoke coming out from under the door of that shed in the picture.
Whoa.
So the first thing we did was obviously when we came up from the basement, 'cause we were all in the basement, she come running down and telling us this. And we go out, and the first thing, because of the time of the year it was, we figured, all right, is anybody burning leaves? So we went and looked to see, through the backyards and see if we could see any smoke from, like leaf burning or maybe a grill or something like that. Nothing. Nothing close by. All
I
right.
don't know why when you said an old shed, whipping shed came to my mind.
Well, this is like something you'd build in your backyard to store your lawnmower because you don't have
Right.
a garage. You know, um, it's like a work shed, I guess, or whatever, a
Right.
storage shed,
Tool shed.
tool shed. There you go, tool shed. Anyway, so Tom told us, the guy that owned the house, bought the house, Tom and Molly, they both told us that neither one of them have ever been in that shed since they bought the house. They refused to go near it. So we decided to go in there anyways and look, and come to find out that at some point there was a fire in that shed.
Oh,
Yeah.
You could obviously see the beams, like you got the big 4x4 type beams on to help support the roof. They were all charred. You could easily tell they were charred. The
Been
back,
painted
it
over.
was a pretty hot fire too because there was a window on the back wall. And if you've ever seen glass come out, like a glass window come out of a fire, it gets like a black film that'll peel off, and then the yellowish, gunky-ish brown film on it. Well, it's obvious that there was a fire in there, you know. And from the graffiti, we're guessing some kids were in there playing around with shit they shouldn't have been playing around with, and maybe started it on fire, you know.
Yeah.
Now,
There was some
whether
symboling in there.
hurt or not, we don't know. Trying to find information in this town is not easy, because we had the same type of thing when we were trying to look up the Grafton Arts Mill that we investigated in the same little small town. That back in the day, that it used to be a flour mill, and it sat right on the Milwaukee River there.
It's right next to the Milwaukee River.
Beautiful sight, though. That was a beautiful sight at night.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool as hell. I wish we had Tanya's camera
To
then,
snap pictures then. Yeah.
because the way that dam area was all lit up with all those colors, it was cool as
Yep.
hell.
I just got to say, it's 8 o'clock and the fireworks are already started.
Really?
They started a couple of hours ago over here.
Fireworks.
Oh, yeah. They won't start fireworks here. I don't think we'll hear fireworks here. We don't
Really?
usually get 4th of July fireworks too often. We do hear them sometimes, but
He's out in the
down
boondocks.
pretty distance. I'm out
Yeah.
in the middle of funfuck nowhere.
Well, they
Must be-
legalized them here 2 years ago, so the fireworks stores are 24/7. You can buy them whenever you want.
my
And every
God.
freaking holiday they
I,
start.
I
That's
love
crazy.
4th of
I
July.
miss my dogs, but every time they go out, I just remember how my dogs and
Would react.
yeah.
Yeah, dogs don't like those explosions. Some of them.
No.
And they ain't
Jasmine's that way.
little ones. They're not little ones. These are biggins.
Yeah, I went out. I took a buddy out once, and we went out to Iowa, and it was right around the 4th of July, and we must have spent $300, $400, $500 on fireworks, and we pretty much filled the trunk because it was like buy one get two free type deals,
Mhm.
And we come back with some of these fireworks you shouldn't be lighting off. And oh my God, we were up on this place called Radar Hill, firing these fuckers off for, we must have been up there for about 3.5, 4 hours that night, lighting off fireworks because it was a good place to go and cops couldn't get to us because they wouldn't dare come walking up the hill. So we lit them all off. We get back and we're still like, oh shit, what the hell are we gonna do? Because that adrenaline was still going and the excitement was still going and we wanted more.
Right.
So I pulled out this box that I had in my closet, and they had these old model rocket engines. They hook up a couple of wires to this battery controller, push the button, and it fuels the rocket to explode up to 2,000 plus feet in the air, right? And
My
parachute
gosh.
down. Well, we decided to take these rocket engines and kind of duct tape them to the old plastic 20-ounce pop bottles and light them off up the street and see how far they'll go. Well, needless to say, here it is, about 3:30. Well, it was about 4:30 in the morning, going on 5 o'clock. And in that time, in that area, it was about the time that the cops started to shift change. So as we lit the last one off and it was flying up the street, it went right under a squad car.
Oh,
Down the street. You've never seen two grown men run so fast in all your life from the cops.
no.
Problem was, they were smart enough not to chase us. They just sat there waiting and talking to our girlfriends until we came back.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like, don't you let us get you doing that again. All right. Why'd you run? You got warrants out for your arrest? But that's the first thing they say. Why you run? You got the long hair. You figure you're a
Right.
You got to run and see.
Freaking hippie.
Yeah, but they run my name. Problem is, I had licenses where I needed to have a good FBI, all those deep background checks.
No,
some of the stuff
no
I did.
trouble.
Right. I've got a clean record because I held private investigator's license and security licenses, and they did a lot of deep background checks because of the type of places I worked at and protected. In some places, I had to be bonded, and they don't
Man.
like that if you got any type of record.
What's Dale got going on behind him?
Thought you'd never ask.
That's his ghost museum.
That's my two buddies here and here. That's the third
I
one up
couldn't
here.
exactly make out what it was. My
And then the
screen's
other
too
Got
small.
a screensaver on there or something that's going nuts. The little squiggly lines. Yeah, that's what I was seeing.
Okay, see, but
But every now and then, it almost looks like that dude moves if you sit there and watch him long enough. I don't know if it's Dale's
Depends on
camera.
it depends on how the light hits it.
I think that's what it is. It almost makes it look like
I was watching the neon lights go doing things, and I'm like, what's he got back there?
I'm surrounded by about 6 different computers here. I got my wife's, I got 2 over here, 2 behind me, and I got a laptop. So I'm like in a cockpit, just all kind of controls.
Okay, what's that? Who's doing that? What are you doing, Mark?
I'm doing this. So you got to be quiet for this. This is that audio Dale wanted to hear.
I'm gonna-
Turn your audio up. This is from the crash site, Dale.
Yeah, I'm listening. I'm not hearing anything though.
I started before it happens. So hear it?
I hear something. It's hard to hear though.
I hear like a doit, 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 doit.
Yeah, send that to me. I'd like to hear it. I could amplify it and play around. little bit too.
Now you can hear it.
I can't hear it.
Did you check the audio box?
Yeah, I did.
Because I
Yes,
don't
I
hear
did.
any of the audio.
You don't hear any of the audio? Seriously?
Seriously, I don't hear any of the audio. I
Yeah,
remember what this
son
was.
of a
Just
bitch.
you.
You played it for me on Christmas Day before you gave me the flash drive, and I didn't hear any of it.
All right, hang on.
Because
I'll
we
do it
should hear-
again. I'll make sure that the damn box is checked because I know I checked it.
Because we should hear
Chair
Dale's.
system audio.
We should hear Dale's talking and Mikey talking.
Let's try it again then. Do you hear any talking, anything now?
Nothing.
That is so weird.
I hear some very muffled voices.
I hear muffled. I can't even tell if they're
Yeah.
voices or noises.
Yeah, it's not coming through very well, Mark.
Yeah, that sucks.
Oh.
I'm sorry, but yeah, I'll make sure Joe sends that to you. It
You should-
starts
You
right
should
at about
pull our video up.
1656, 1658, something like that, on that audio,
Okay.
and then it runs for about a good minute to minute and a half. And you can hear the plane. It's a single engine prop.
Job, yeah, it's like a little prop job playing. You can hear it. And I don't recall hearing or seeing one when we
Nor
were
do
standing
I.
there.
No.
No, and you can hear. I mean, you can hear that we were already starting in the investigation part of it. Because, you know, Mikey was asking questions and playing the music, and you were asking questions. And we were getting responses from the what was that thing you had?
That's my box.
Yeah, we got to get one of our laptops set up just for that.
Mine's already set up.
Okay, because that was cool as
Is
hell.
there any way I can share a picture you guys can see right now?
I think so. Do you have a share button down there?
On
Sure.
your buttons down here is there one that says share?
Yes, it does.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, so then Mark,
Click on that,
Yes.
either Mark and I will bring it up for you.
and then it says share screen because you got to have it open. You'll have to have it open in the screen or in a viewer or anything like that.
Oh, I got to do that first?
Yeah, open your picture into a viewer.
Okay, wait a second here.
We're not worried about time.
Yeah, this is a New Year's show.
We're not worried about time.
We're not worried about time.
We're just worried about having fun.
Okay.
Open mic. Okay. So once you got that open in your viewer, go to share screen or share. Go share screen, and then as long as there's no audio, so just go and then hit share screen again on the screen sharing tips. There it is.
Okay.
All right.
Now, this is the first of several pictures I took at Gettysburg, you know, at the Iverson's Pits, where they had a lot of fighting that took place here.
Yeah.
I took it with my cell phone, with a flash, and you know, I snapped about 6 or 7 pictures, and this one shows nothing as well as most of them except for the second one. Now, if I can go to the second one, let's see how I could do this now. There you go. You see that?
Oh
Yeah.
wow, it's like a mist.
It's not only a mist, but there's a dark shadow in the
Yeah, I
far.
was going to say there's
Yeah.
like a shadow in there or something.
And then the very next picture, and the next, and the next,
It's all gone.
and the next.
Yeah.
So it only showed up on that one picture right here.
Wow.
And you know, if you look at the color of the mist up there,
I was going to say it's kind of like
Doesn't
an
even look-
orange red.
it looks like kind of like a chestnut colored, almost.
Yep.
And
Wait.
some of the Confederate soldiers actually wore kind of like chestnut colored jackets.
Right.
Or what if it, just another theory, Dale. What do they call that? Pink rain. like when a body explodes and there's nothing left to it,
Okay. Yeah.
and it just turns into
Well, here's
Like a-
something weird. Look at it upside down.
I was just going to say that, Mark. I swear.
Like that. You mean a head?
Look, it looks like it's holding a gun. Like there's two
Oh, yeah.
figures.
It looks like there's two figures fighting right there.
Yeah.
The one's bayoneting the other one in the neck.
I'll be back in a second. I gotta go use the bathroom.
that is messed up.
So you would think that would be
I
his head right here,
swear.
his
Yeah,
shoulder,
and
his gun, and he's maybe stabbing some other person. You can see his head and his
Right.
arm.
right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I swear when Mark said that, I was looking at it and I enlarged it and I wanted to flip my phone over. And then Mark goes, look at it upside down. That's the first thing I saw. It's
Wow.
crazy.
It is. That's why it's always good to have a few extra pairs of eyes, huh?
Oh yeah, I mean, even when I do EVPs, you know, let's see.
I wish I knew how to share you that SLS one. You guys would get a kick out of that.
Should be the same way.
You know, even when I do EVPs, sometimes, you know, if I get something that comes through that makes no sense at all, you know, I use Audacity and Adobe Audition. You can flip the EVP, play it in reverse, and sometimes you actually get it makes better sense playing it in reverse than it does playing it forward, especially when forward doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah.
Right.
I've got Audacity, so that's a nice program.
Yeah, Audacity, you can do that with. Adobe Audition is even better if you can afford that $400, $500, $600 program.
Yeah, well,
A lot of times you can find that on eBay when people get a new system, perhaps they buy a new computer or laptop or desktop or something. They often install certain programs already in, you know, pre-made in your system, and they give you the discs for them. So people will turn around, they'll sell those discs that have never been opened. The key code is still good, and you can get a newer version of Adobe Audition for, you know, less than $100 sometimes, or less than $200, I should say.
back in the day,
That's even better than Audacity.
back in the day, I tell you what, Dale, back in the day, Mark and I had ways of getting all kinds of files with the key codes and stuff, and not have to pay a single dime for it.
Oh, that's cool.
But you can't do that so much
Can't do it
anymore
anymore.
because they shut down all these really cool
Dropping my phone.
what we called
Oh, I thought you fell backwards there, Janet.
Too many drinks.
Well, say, are you?
you fell off the bar stool and can't get up.
So, what'd you come up with after I said turn it upside down?
Did you want to see that again?
Oh no, that's all right. Just I got a good look at it before I walked off to go use the bathroom.
Yeah, let me do that real quick here. I still got it queued up here.
Excuse me. There's a lot of P2P programs, peer-to-peer. That's what they were called.
Yep.
In the day.
P2P, peer to peer.
We had email.
Ah,
E-donkey.
Casey's gone again.
Okay, so that's the first one. This is the second one. And then if you flip it upside down, here's the guy's head, here's his shoulders.
Yep.
He's got a rifle, and he might be stabbing another person here.
Like a bayonet.
We lost Cassie again.
That happened.
We bored her to death, so she
Now,
left.
why they deal upside down, I don't know, because like I say, you know, a lot of times I've been, you know, doing this for a long time, and like I say, sometimes EVPs come backwards. Sometimes they will come up on, if you're using open reel to reel tape recorder. Sometimes they'll play it, they'll actually impress their voices on the wrong side of the tape. So when you play, it sounds like they're talking backwards, and you have to put a loop in the tape and then play it forward, and then they sound like they're talking forward. So, and Hans Holzer, actually, I know everybody knows who Hans Holzer used to be, Mr. Ghostbuster himself. He has a book called Psychic Photography, Threshold of a New Science. And he actually explains in there that a lot of times he got images that made no sense looking at them the right way. He'd have to flip them 90 degrees or 180 degrees, and all of a sudden, oh, wow, it makes perfect sense. So
Yeah.
why they're upside down sometimes, I don't know. But I mean, it doesn't really
I
make
was just looking at it, and that's what I was thinking. That
yeah. Now, what kind of disturbs me a little bit is this black shadow right here.
oh yeah, and the blockage of it.
Yeah, which was
blocked.
very close to me. It was off my left shoulder, and I didn't even see it because I just snap, 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 snap. It kept snapping pictures, and it showed up on the one. Oops, there you go. When it showed up on one picture.
Almost as if somebody was standing in front of your flash.
Yeah, yeah.
When you flip it upside down, though, that looks like a bayonet ready to get somebody.
Yeah.
And actually zooming in like that makes it look more like a head with a body.
Yeah, heads here.
Yep.
Shoulders.
Arm.
Yeah.
And possibly a head above the end of the arm.
And then if you want to go
another person,
be the individual, he's stabbing, that's his head. He's kind of bending over because he just got stabbed. And then,
shoulders and arm going down.
Yep.
And then the other one there, the other deeper orange on the coming off the bottom.
Yeah.
It almost looks like the other arm.
Yeah, could be.
Blow it up. The one on the right that's getting stabbed looks like an alien.
Yeah, it's got a weird shaped head. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just I seen that, and that was my first thought. Flip it over.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you said something because I'm going to look at that real carefully now and see if I can clean it up a little bit more.
Okay. See, a fresh pair of eyes, you can get a different perspective a lot of times out of it.
It's a wonder yours even work.
Oh, kiss my tail end.
Well, sorry I had to run out and come back in again. That was my son on the other line, and I couldn't talk and use the camera. And it's New Year's Eve, so he's talking to me, and I'm like, he's like, Mom, and I'm like, what? What's going on? And I'm like, I'm on a show. Wait a minute, I can't hear you. And I'm trying to navigate how I can do this. And so I had to leave the show only to call him back and him go, oh, no, I was just playing a drinking game. And I had to call you and tell you I was
Oh, man.
You know, earlier you were talking about orbs, and this one orb that you said, that was kind of glowing or pulsating or something.
Yeah.
I've seen thousands of orbs because people, used to send orbs, as part of their evidence. And then eventually I just stopped. I just said, don't send me any more orbs unless it's something that you saw with your own eyes that maybe was giving off a glow, illuminating an area or something like that. And I was trying to look for the one that I have on one of my PowerPoint presentations. And what it actually does, it kind of comes down from the top and it slowly kind of zigzags all the way down. As it's coming down, it's twinkling all the way down. The only
like a spider on a web?
I'm sorry?
Like a spider on a web? Be careful of those, too.
Yeah. Because the video quality is so terrible, I wasn't able to do much with it. And I just put it up there, in my PowerPoint presentation to kind of show, video of videos. Sometimes people will take them with night shot or super night shot. Sometimes they're simply bugs that fly through that look like orbs. Sometimes they're called rods. they look like little rods. It's just kind of
Yeah.
zip. People will snap them. I even have some images of some of the orbs that actually have wings, so we know that they're bugs. They're insects. So
We have a weird orb type. It's not really an orb from Gettysburg. And
what part? Do you remember offhand?
it was our hotel was next to the battlefield, so we could literally go walk the battlefield all night. I don't know which part. It wasn't down in like nothing by the what do they call it? Devils. Nothing that way.
Okay.
But this light anomaly is like in the pathway, and when we show it to everybody, like nobody can explain, because I'm looking, is it a bug that was moving and we caught it? But the shape of it is like a bedroll that the soldiers would carry.
Hi, Michelle.
So it's really weird.
Huh.
Do you have that hand? Can we share stuff with you and pull it up?
Yeah,
I-
if you got it.
I
if you
can't.
got
I'm
it
on my
your-
phone. I don't have all the fancy buttons.
I don't know how
Usually,
they-
if you're on your computer, it
Yeah, I'm on my
better.
phone, so I can't do it.
I don't know how it's like on a phone.
Shoot.
No, you got limited buttons
But,
on the phone.
Speaking of orbs, we go back to that house, that area I was trying to find where the orbs, and Mark was saying how they were like going around my one particular leg. There's like a whole lot to that story. I mean, everybody saw them, and obviously I didn't, because I was the one that was standing in the room, so I wasn't looking at cameras and all the footage that was being, but they could see it as it was happening. They were talking about it. I didn't think nothing of it, I sat there, and it was like one of those things where I knew, because it was a big house, lots of stairs, that I'd have to recoup for a couple of days because of my legs. I was in pain in that one particular leg. We ended up rewinding the footage, watching it, to see where it was, what leg it was, and it was the same leg I was bitching about for like 2 weeks because I was in so much pain. And it's the only thing we could have associated it with. It was just really weird that it happened that way.
Yeah.
Because
All right.
normally that kind of walking, I only need a couple of days to recoup, and I'm back good to go again.
This is from Bray Road. This is my spotter scope, night vision, that can actually see an object at 350 meters out, which is the distance of about three and a half football fields. And watch how this thing does.
I don't see nothing.
Just watch on the left lower corner. It'll show up in just a second here.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
You see, the other ones are bugs. You can see those.
Right. That's
And
weird.
then it pauses, and then it goes up here again.
Shape, and it
And
changed
it
shape.
just- it-
There was nobody with a flashlight out there.
nope. This was
It
shot
looks
when
like
this
it's walking.
got recorded. I'm standing behind it,
Right.
and
But if you look at the tempo of it, it
Uh-huh.
looks like it's walking.
okay, so I had my spotter scope on the tripod. Had everything set up.
It's going to be an all night.
I'm standing behind it. Lee is standing next to me with his night vision binoculars. And then
I think you
all
meant
of a sudden,
Dale.
no, Lee was standing next to me. This was before you and Dale came out there.
Oh, okay.
So the two of us, there was nobody else in that field, and these two were over at the cars on the other end of the barn doing their stuff. So Lee and I were standing there, and we're, talking, and all of a sudden this thing comes into view. It's on the camera.
But I'm saying, even if it wasn't a flashlight, whatever the anomaly is, when you watch the anomaly, the light, it's like it's walking. It's going slow and steadfast like a walker.
Yeah, but I'm just, there was nobody in that field.
There was nobody there.
And we were, and where Lee and
I'm
I
saying,
were
even
located.
if it's a spirit, it's like something walked across the screen.
Right. And where Lee and I were located at there, we were behind the spotter scope. I was just getting it set up to record while we were doing our other stuff and getting other stuff ready to go.
Unpacking.
So yeah,
You're all
it was just weird. I caught that and I'm like, holy crap.
So if I got some pictures, can I message you guys pictures and you share them if I'm on a phone?
Sure. Message them. I can't even say it.
Blah, blah, blah.
Joe.
Are we friends on Facebook though? I don't know if I
Good. He should have the show's messenger up, so you could actually get it through the show.
On my
shoot.
side.
Let me see.
How do you know I got it up? I might not. I might have it closed.
Kiss my royal white behind.
Mark Joe Show.
And yes, my behind is white and royal because my family has a royal crest.
Yeah.
Are you Mark Joseph?
That's why
he's Joseph and I'm Mark.
But is it Mark Joseph Arolis? Was that be who I send it to?
No, the Mark Joe Show.
It's not coming up when I search it. Send to
Insane Asylum.
All right, let me see.
See if it's under that.
Let's see. I gotta go back.
Joe, why don't you send Cassie a messenger so she knows?
Hold on. Why?
Ping her with a messenger so she can ping it back.
You already did it.
That makes it easier that way, Kat.
What am I looking for?
Oh, Cassie froze.
Uh-oh.
She froze yesterday.
I don't even hear her. I'm not sure if she's.
Well, she shared a picture.
All right.
That's
Then
probably why
bring that up.
she's probably sending stuff.
I sent you two
Too much
from the
data.
event to test it out.
Okay.
Oh.
So these are two pictures from the event to test it out, and then the same thing will happen while I'm looking through Facebook. I'll still be on the show, but I might.
Ah, look at that. We got an elf.
And I think that was the other
But that
one.
elf was not on a shelf.
That was our special guest in the background.
That's
Krampus.
Did it send you everything? I thought it only sent you one.
Hang on a second.
I bet because I'm looking at Facebook, I bet
Oh, okay.
Somebody has a tongue sticking out on that one.
That would be me.
that part of it.
Yeah, that was Krampus.
Oh,
He was our special guest. So when we were drawing raffle prizes, we
That almost
were
looked like a wedding.
we were interrupted by noise and crazy heavy metal music and lights, and that's our event tables and dinner. So you must have got just all the pictures.
Yep. I can look at everything that's on your profile. Just
Oh
by
gosh.
next. Oh, they're out there dancing.
Yeah.
You had a
That's
DJ.
Dance
Donna
floor,
Russell
DJ.
from Spirit World.
Cool.
She coordinates the event, the Paracon at the Old Mill in Dundee, Michigan.
Yeah.
Dundee, Michigan.
When is that one?
It's usually
Oh, there's
May-
that.
November. November, like second or third week of November.
Those are our raffle ticket girls. The one on the right, Jamie, is my goddaughter, and the dark one on the left is my actual daughter.
Oh,
So they were managing the raffles.
costumes.
It's the Eloise crew with Krampus.
Yeah, most of these characters. So we offered photo ops with the Krampus. So we had a link.
Manage that one.
But
it was
fun.
cool. When he came out, we were in the middle. We were just getting ready to draw the door prize, and it got all dark, and the fog started coming out. We had lights flashed, and we're like, "What the hell's going on? Oh my god!" And then Krampus opens. It was like freaking AC/DC walked out, man. And the crowd went wild.
Yeah, I know what that's like. And I've been to 3 of their concerts.
Oh,
It was-
yeah, we went to an ACDC concert. It
Oh,
was their
yeah.
farewell tour.
I don't know. That was a stiff upper lip tour.
No,
Yeah.
it wasn't at the Coliseum. It was at the Coal Center.
No, I know it. That was a stiff upper lip tour.
Okay.
That's the T-shirt.
What year was that? Because I saw him in like between 2008 and 2011.
That was 2001. I was married to Kelly at the time.
Well, I saw him between 2008 and 2011, and I saw him in the 80s. So I've seen him twice.
I've seen him 3 times.
They were just as good later.
Well, they got a.
They cracked the dome on the Coliseum.
I was gonna say there's a little thing that they happened here in Madison. That's why the Coliseum doesn't allow stuff like that anymore.
Yeah, they didn't like the idea that when they did For Those About to Rock, they shot off the cannons in the Coliseum and they cracked the dome.
Oh,
Yep,
all right. Well,
there
you
was so
guys
much
talk.
compression.
Now that I know how to do this, I'm gonna go see if I can share that thing.
Okay.
So carry on. I'm just a screen away.
Do they still
Innovation
allow
Green
investigations
Green.
at Eloise?
Oh, by the way, Dale, I got a comment to you.
Hang on. Let him
Oh,
ask his question again.
I was just wondering if they still allow investigations at Eloise.
Yep, they're
Yes.
still going on. Yeah.
Because we tried to get investigation this year, and I couldn't get a hold of anybody. I mean, I had left.
They weren't having a problem there for a while, yeah, because they started the haunted house there this year. So there was a lot of things up in the air of what they were, how they were going to run the investigations. But they're back on track now. We just actually did Eloise in November.
Now that's in Duluth. Correct?
Huh?
That's in Duluth,
No, that's in
No, it's in
Michigan.
Westland.
Westland. Okay, I'm thinking of the wrong one then. I'm thinking about the one in Duluth, Minnesota. There's a sanitarium up there.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
Eloise is in Westland, Michigan.
Yeah, I can't think of.
Yeah, they are doing tours there. And where are you from?
I'm from
Illinois. Okay. You're not far.
No. See if I can figure out which one I was thinking about. I was thinking about Noping.
Oh yeah. See, Cass is frozen again. She's looking for pictures.
Yeah, she just sent that one.
Oh God. That's the intake station at Eloise. It's trying to take me away. Like, I'm not going.
Like, see you later. I'm out of here. Bye.
Huh. Of course she'd done that. Yeah, that one was when we were just there.
Yeah, we got a couple of places on our bucket list this year. Hopefully, we can get to them.
Anyway, I had a comment for Dale
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
I've been meaning to kind of mention to you ever since I've been watching your profile and your little birthday celebrations and stuff that you've been doing. You got some pretty good taste in some music. Some of those concerts that you've been to and scheduled to go to, I would go to myself.
Oh yeah. We did quite a few this year. I mean, we saw the guest who was actually going to be in January, and then in February we're going to see America with the Buckinghams, and then Grand Funk Railroad. Um,
Ooh, that'd be good.
but we saw earlier this year we saw Three Dog Night, and we saw Tommy James and the Shondells, and with the, um, the Box Tops. They were there as well. Yeah, earlier we saw the Circle, and we saw Dennis Stefano, who was the lead singer from the Buckinghams, Jane Americans, the Gary Puck and the Union Gap, and the Vogues, among others.
Wow.
Yeah. And a lot of them were at Genesee Theater in Waukegan, and that's a beautiful venue. There's really not a bad seat in the house. I'm hoping that the one I really want to see, Three Dog Night was probably the best one I saw so far because they had so many great songs. But because of the pandemic, I hope that the Guess Who doesn't get canceled. It's the end of January, January 30th. They've already been rescheduled twice. This is their third rescheduling to come to Chicago. So I hope they don't cancel this time with the pandemic because I really want to see them.
Yeah.
Now, I've been trying to take my wife out because, I do so much of this ghost hunting during the summer months, and unfortunately, she doesn't go along with me, so she kind of stays at home. So I try to do stuff with her a lot. We go to the casinos, try to win some money. Sometimes,
Yeah, you're lucky. Holy cow, are you lucky?
Well, last year I won $10,000
Those machines hate me.
on a jackpot, and my wife won $3,000. So we were pretty lucky last year. And actually, I won $6,000 besides that. So I won $16,000 last year. But that's always hit or miss. I mean, you can spend a lot of money before you hit that.
Oh yeah.
But so we do other things. We try to get out and go to concerts. And I actually talked her into going to see the first opera ever. And it was I'm not a big opera buff, but this was the Mozart's The Magic Flute.
Oh, I might watch that.
If you ever seen that, it's kind of a whimsical, kind of it's kind of almost like there's supernatural elements in there too, because you have the Queen of the Night, and she's an evil person, and it's really kind of it was a great concert actually, and so
sounds interesting.
we try to get out and do stuff.
Yeah.
I found out when I got married, my wife, when we got married, we went, like most people know, I won an all expense paid trip to Las Vegas. But the other catch to that trip is I also got to see a very personal concert with Garth Brooks.
Oh,
Okay. So it was basically just Garth Brooks, a bar stool, and a guitar, and him telling stories about who influenced him in music and so on and so forth, and how the songs that he recorded came to be, why he recorded them. And it had a little comedy in it. I mean, he kept pulling up his pants, and the guy decides to take off his belt and give it to Garth Brooks, and then all of a sudden, he goes out, and I says, "Oh, I suppose you want something for this?" And the guy's like, "Yeah," and he's like, Here's my guitar." And he's like, "Wait, I need that for this concert." And he walks off stage, and he comes back out with another one, totally autographed, and gives it to the guy. So now we were the only concert that night because our concert was on um, February 13th of 2010. So it was Valentine's Day weekend.
Yeah.
And my wife had never seen a concert before. Okay, so this was her first. So all of a sudden, Garth Brooks himself got surprised because his wife came out and Trisha Yearwood and sung a couple of songs with him. So it was a very interesting, special concert because there couldn't have been more than maybe 1,000 people in there.
Really?
Yeah, it was a very small venue in the Wynn Hotel because
This, we,
he had a residence. He was playing the Wynn Hotel that entire summer or whatever. But I won tickets from a local radio station, so it was round trip airfare, hotel, and the concert tickets. I just had to pay for food and other expenses while we were there, and we ended up getting married on Valentine's Day before we came back.
oh, that's nice.
Cool.
And ever since then, we've seen a few other concerts, kind of small venues. Here in Watertown, once a year in the summertime, they have a thing called Riverfest. And they have different bands. And I go on the internet because these are free concerts, okay, because they're outdoor venue. And so it's a free concert. So we go to the concert, plan to go to the concert, make plans to go to the concert, and I've gotten us backstage twice now. The first time was Sawyer Brown, and the second time was with Blackhawk. But myself, I've been watching concerts. I mean, my very first concert, believe
Oh,
it
I
or
know.
not, here, this is gonna sound funny because of my age, but my very first concert I ever went to, believe it or not, was Sha Na Na
There you go. Me,
at the Coliseum in
I saw
1970.
Dr. Hook, my first
Oh,
concert.
yeah, cover of the Rolling Stones.
Yep.
That's a good song.
yeah, I actually won tickets to the casino down in St. Louis. At that time, it was Harris. It's been since that time. It's went to Hollywood or something. But I had a choice between two different concerts. I either had a choice to see Chicago or the Doobie Brothers, or Joe Cocker and Steve Miller Band.
Oh,
my
man,
God.
that's it.
It's a hard one.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
went with the Joe Cocker Steve Miller Band. It was good because Joe Cocker died not too long after that. And I always wanted to go back and see the other two, but then I said the casino kind of went to another. They went from Harris to something else, so I don't do anything with them anymore. But I actually won tickets to go see Marshall Tucker Band at one time up there, and I think it was either Alpine Valley or Poplar Creek, and that was pretty cool. That time I was on a motorcycle, I was riding my bike up there. That was kind of a neat thing. And I saw John Denver. I saw Starship. Then it was just called Starship and not Jefferson Starship. And a few other concerts here and there. But I've seen a lot more in the last couple of years here than I've seen in my entire life.
Oh, yeah, I've seen quite a few concerts, and I actually had the honor of having a couple of musicians from concerts that took place that I didn't get to see in my cab. So that was kind of cool. I had a member of Kiss in my cab once, and then I also had, well, the other ones I didn't listen to because I don't listen to rap music, but I had the members from Insane Clown Posse in my cab as well.
Yeah.
But what's this picture?
All right. You're gonna have to zoom in apparently.
So
Zoom.
just for future knowledge, when you're scrolling on the phone, there's a time limit. Like I can hear you guys while I'm looking through the phone, and I shared the stupid photos. But then when I found this photo, I couldn't share it because it died.
I lost that photo.
That previous photo you had up there when I came back in was that weird anomaly at Gettysburg.
Yeah,
That's it.
It ain't letting me zoom in on this one. I don't have it.
No. Oh, that dot in the middle is that bedroll thing.
Oh, right here.
Come on now.
Just
How
a
can I get
video.
back to where I was?
Just a video. Or just a picture?
No, it's just
That's
a photo.
Okay.
Well, Joe could download it, and if he downloads it, he'll be able to bring it up a little bit bigger.
Yeah. Well, right now I'm kind of like
Because you.
I. That's,
I'm having technical difficulties.
yeah, I sure am.
I am. I keep.
Joe always has technical difficulties.
I decided to smoke too much.
Yeah, I had to screenshot it. It wouldn't let me send it normal, so that could be the problem.
Do it this way. Oh,
Yeah, I'm gonna make me a drink while you guys do that.
that's tough.
But I took my fingers and enlarged it on my phone. I don't know if you can do that if you have a touchscreen laptop or
Nope.
not.
Nope, I'm on a desktop. But now I can enlarge it.
But so we're on the battlefield, and it's a weird. I've never seen nothing like that. The particular shape of it.
This thing?
Yeah, in the middle, that light. And somebody looked at it and couldn't explain it, but the shape of it looks like a freaking bedroll. I'm not saying it's paranormal. I've just not seen nothing like it.
Did you when you took this picture, did you see it in real time, or did you just when you later on when you reviewed your pictures you saw it?
Later when I review my pictures, so there's nothing before, nothing after, nothing the whole night. Even bugs I took did not look like that.
I'm just wondering if that was a marker of the battlefield.
Mark, I'll be right back. I need a soda. I'll be right back.
That was
All
not
right,
a
we got an
marker.
echo.
Never mind. Here, take these.
Is that me?
I have no clue, but we're getting feedback echo.
Yep. I'm gonna go and come back again.
Is it gone? Oh, it's still here. It's from somebody.
See, I'll tell you, that's what Gettysburg does to you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't like us talking about it.
Yeah, I'm hearing it now too.
All right, is it still there? Hang on.
Any better?
No, I don't think it's gonna.
Yeah,
get better.
actually.
Maybe it is.
There. Oh, no. Hang on, Janet. I'm gonna mute you for a minute.
Test.
All right. Hello.
Hello.
Check.
It's
check.
Janet. It's you. You're the culprit.
I'm the winner.
Just leave and come back.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting ready to do.
Yep, Janet was the culprit.
So what were you getting ready to say about the bedroll looking thing? We call it the bedroll now because someone said it looked like a bedroll, and I don't know that that's an exact assimilation, but that's how we identify that picture now.
I mean, it kind of looks like it was taken near like General Lee's headquarters. It's kind of hard to tell, but I know there's a fence all the way around their headquarters, and it's right
This
off.
is the outskirts of the battlefield where Main Street is right past it, like
Okay.
in town. And it's not a marker. There was nothing on that trail. That's a trail in the grass. There's no marker within it.
What was
Like
the name
I
of
was
the-
probably 10 feet from that anomaly.
What was the name of the hotel that you stayed at when you were on the battlefield?
It's down by the McDonald's and stuff.
Right. Quality Inn, Battlefield, or Days
Yeah,
Inn, Battlefield.
Quality and Battlefield.
Because there used to be a battle. Excuse me, not battle. There used to be a
There's the
a
Old
motel.
Mine restaurant right there. The Old Mine Bar.
There used to be one called General Lee's headquarters. It used to be like a. It was, I think it was a Quality Inn, but they called it.
Yeah, that was the other Quality Inn. We
Okay.
stayed at the other one. There's 2 Quality Inns there. We stayed at the other one.
Because they told us the same thing. If we decided to book there, that their hotel was literally on the battlefield, that we could just walk out of the hotel and we would be on the battlefield. So I'm just wondering if that's where you had stayed, because I know
Oh,
that
yeah.
Maybe.
That's how it was. Yeah.
That's how it was. Yeah, we could go. The battlefield was next door to the hotel.
The hotel even had a video camera on top of the hotel facing out for paranormal people.
cool. That's cool.
And you could watch it from the hotel room.
Nice.
But yeah, it's pretty
I didn't know that
interesting.
when we were there. Why weren't we watching that?
I think you can watch it anywhere, actually. I think there is a link.
It's like
that
a
you can-
webcam.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just hearing of this.
Well, that's
Probably
like
because you left the battlefield and then you went to bed. No.
It
there's
was
a
a long trip.
there's a library down in southern Indiana called the Willard Library, and if you go to their website, they actually have webcams running 24/7 in there, and they actually caught shadows and movements of people in there after the place closed up.
Wow.
You can watch it all night. You know,
What's the name of the museum?
it's called the Willard Library.
Willard Library. Okay.
Willard, like Willard, Willard Library. It's in Evansville, Indiana. And
I also
they
sent.
still have a webcam. I don't know if they still do. I talked to somebody who did a lot of public events for them, and he said the last time I talked with them was just last year. He said they still had the webcam going on.
So, other than a marker, any takes on it? Because it was not a marker.
Well, from what I can see, it doesn't look like it's casting a shadow. So obviously it's not something solid, because something solid would cast a shadow, unless the shadow went straight back, which I kind of doubt from the angle you showed. So it just could be an anomalous energy.
Yeah, don't look like that.
I also sent Joe that video of that SLS. I don't know if he got it. The Mark Joe show.
My phone is dying.
SLS.
That SLS at that private residence, that video, I shared it to the Mark Joe show.
You'll have to see if he got it.
I figured while I was disconnected, I might as well try to find both and send it. I know I keep bumping out and coming back. My apologies, but
Yeah,
seems like a laid back
happens.
show tonight. So
It's a very laid back show tonight.
What video?
I just sent you, I actually shared the post to the Mark Joe show. I didn't know how else to do it. Of the video of our SLS at the residence. It's a video, a post of a video. I don't know if you would have to. So I didn't actually share the video because I didn't know how to. It wouldn't
You
let
want-
me download.
Do we want audio for this?
You don't necessarily have to have it, but while you're watching, I mean, look in the whole camera view and watch the SLS screen at the same time.
That's that little screen right there.
That's the SLS screen.
Mhm.
Yeah.
See the little figure
Yeah,
on the side there?
Yeah, I can see the little stick figure.
Oh, great. Well, the video froze on my end.
It's
I
still
don't-
running over here. I can see it.
Oh, now
It's running
it just
slow,
came up.
yeah.
So I'm lagging.
It's your phone. We're running on supercomputers here.
That looks backwards.
It is.
That's showing. Yeah, I was gonna say that's. It's
Yeah.
showing that door on the opposite side on the screen.
Hmm.
So the figure would be on the right.
Yeah.
The figure, the way it looks, is in front of that.
Where that cabinet is like sticking out.
Yeah, what's that that's flashing right there? Looks like
I'm
a
on
plug.
lag.
Looks like a plug.
I see a doorknob.
That was weird. That looked like two figures at that point. Like one was tall and the other was smaller up against the cupboard.
It's morphing down almost to like a dog shape. Like, because I made a comment in the video. See, in my end, I'm lagging, so I'm not seeing what you're seeing. Shoot.
I don't
Darn
know
it.
if it was.
We get it back in a minute, and then the kid comes along with the K2 meter.
Yeah, but here's the interesting thing. Yeah, there's your K2 meter.
All right, so you're
And then
gonna.
there's your person again, your figure.
Yep. And it'll be after another little child in the house bumps her head on the SOS camera.
I think it passed it.
No, you got it. It's still coming up because we back up, and then I tell you don't forget to get the screen too.
There you
So
go.
it's coming.
There goes the lights on the K2.
Yeah, and then the SLS she'll get that back in the frame in a minute. See, mine's lagging. There you
It
go.
actually, right there, the SLS looks like it's reaching over and touching that.
Mhm.
K2
That's
meter.
that's like it's crazy.
Yeah, the K2 meter's lit up like a Christmas tree, and the SLS is showing the actual looking like it's touching it.
Yeah, it's crazy. It was crazy.
So you've got a double confirmation there.
Yeah. That's a definitely validated.
Right, that's double confirmation. Two different pieces of equipment showing similar, similar aspects.
So that was our big crazy.
That's the end of it, pretty much.
Yeah, and then of course there you had there was nothing showing in the camera.
Yeah.
as he's
After he
backing up
took
with
a
that.
couple steps back, we didn't get any more on the SOS
So
camera.
it was basically whatever that was staying in that room.
Mhm.
Right. But it was
It did come
communicating.
closer at one point, though, but it never came out of that room. No.
But I love that it was communicating, it was following directions, it was interacting. So whatever it is
That
was
means it's
highly
intelligent.
intelligent and very aware of us.
Right. It
Mhm.
was an aware, intelligent
Mhm.
entity, but because it would not or did not exit that room, did you ask it to leave that room?
We were
follow you?
trying to say,
We're
come on.
asking him to come forward at least, but we didn't actually ask it to leave the room.
Because it kind of makes
We
me
asked
think
it
that
to, well,
maybe for
in a
some
sense,
reason it
we
was.
did ask it to follow him out with the K2. Can you follow him out? And
But it stayed in the
it
room.
got to as far as like the doorway, you know. He took a couple of steps back and then
Vanished. So isn't that exciting?
No, that's cool.
We're
I like
actually
that. That's
we're
really
actually
cool.
gonna be investigating there again pretty soon. We're
Yeah.
just kind of letting the COVID thing go down a little bit first, and then then we're gonna head it back out there and investigate some more.
So the cool thing about that house, it was in the 1800s. It was built, and when you're in the basement, when you look up at the basement ceiling,
Hmm.
it's trees. Trees were knocked down. The whole log is the basement ceiling.
Mhm.
The whole timber, so it's pretty.
Nothing
It's
wrong with
pretty.
that.
It's
Yeah.
pretty cool. I love it. It's a cool old house. The bad thing is like I said, whatever energy in there, it's almost repetitive and it sucks the males into the barn for some reason, turns them into idiots and turns the female in the house because
Nothing new for you, huh, Mark? It turns them into idiots.
well, we had a psychic out there and she explained what she saw in the barn and what she felt was in the house. And then the resident went, oh my God, that's exactly my life. Like her husband was aces till they moved in there. In the first couple years, their marriage was perfect. And then he started going in that barn, and the barn, like alcoholism started and abuse started, and she got more timid and, browbeaten, and they ended up divorcing. And now her stepfather's in the barn because there's a weird, through the divorce, they have a business, so they separated, but they could still use the barn for the business. Now her in-law is so
Like they're
yeah, her
24/7.
father-in-law is now in the barn as an escape from his life, and he's putting a TV out there and bringing a case of beer and watching football. And she's like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "Ooh, something to watch, wait, and see." So it's like this barn sucks these males into it, like they fucking live in that thing
And how old is this place?
Maybe the
from
barn
the 1800s.
gets cursed.
Yep. And the weird thing is she uncovered in the backyard. Was it a call? What was it? It was a big. They unearthed this huge, like, wasn't it a cauldron or something? Like a big cast iron pot of sorts.
Yeah, I think it was a cauldron.
Which is cauldron.
So yeah, they unearthed that in their backyard.
What, who are they? The Sanders sisters?
Yeah.
Well, I've heard stories about places like that and weird shit, and you never know what could happen. And if there's witchcraft and there's dark magic and black magic, there's curses. And you could curse a building. For
Just
that
just
purpose.
make sure you don't have a virgin light the black flame candle.
Yeah.
Beneath the administration.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is she can see she's had like a woman dressed in the period from the 1800s doing laundry in her laundry area in the basement. She sees her, so it's like a residual because the entity doesn't notice her or flinch or nothing.
Mhm.
So it's like she's peeking into this residual time. So she's seen
Yep.
a person. the kids have heard footsteps upstairs in the home, like someone's pissed off and barreling down the hall, and they open the door and nobody's there. All in this house. So it's like a residual. So the fact that she's seeing a residual and the fact that this pattern of relationships is repeating, I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
it's a
could very well be that there was a witch in the area that cursed the place.
it's very crazy.
From the 1800s. That
You
would
never know.
that'd be kind of the period of the witch trials and
No,
when
that's
they
the
were hunting them.
1600s,
Is that the
1690.
1600s?
Yeah, you're off a couple hundred years.
Well, it's they still went after them.
Witches have been around for years. So are.
Century.
It's just now starting to get accepted.
You know, you
Yeah.
never know. You never know who could have put a curse on that. It might not even have been a witch.
Could have been you.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I haven't been around that long. Not yet.
Are you sure? Because you keep telling me you're immortal.
I don't think you have to be a witch to even cast the curse. Just need that intent, you know.
I should
How
say
it could have been
it's
a
possible.
gypsy.
Yeah.
What about some Native American,
Yeah.
medicine man or something?
Well,
Yeah.
Because there's heavy Native American.
That's a possibility too.
I mean, we can come up with all kinds of theories and talk about that one all night long.
Yeah.
mhm.
Do enough research, you'll come down
Yeah,
with
but
probably the few close
all night.
possibilities. When I was a young kid, though, here's a good one, though, speaking of witches and curses, mostly witches. I remembered this. My dad, when I was born, we were living in this, I guess, really, really, really old house that sat on top of, the way my mom and dad described it, it sat up on this really lonely hilltop in South Beloit, Illinois. Okay, and he swore up and down there was a witch that lived in the basement. My mom's like, yeah, there was this old lady that practiced witchcraft, and she lived in the basement of the house. Like, they rented part of it, so apparently it was like, an apartment or something down there. And he swore forever that she cursed him, you know. And now looking back at it, maybe she did, because that would explain an awful lot about the old man, But I'm not going to go into details on that one. But it's just one of those stories that when I was a kid, you get the mom and dad, and they're telling you all these stories about when you were a kid that you wouldn't remember or anything like this. And
Yeah.
later on, when you get involved in something like this, you start to think about stuff like that. It's like, oh yeah, I wonder if that was really true, or if that was just dad bullshit still, because he was one of the biggest bullshitters on the face of the planet. But my mom confirmed that one. Most of the time, she called him on his bullshit.
Well, that was your dad.
Yeah.
Janet, I really thought you were coming over here tonight, and I was going to call you and say bring some equipment with you when you come, because I don't know if you saw it. Deani passed away.
Yeah.
My friend Deani, who was very close to Roxy. And remember, we were picking Roxy up in my kitchen?
Yeah.
I was going to roll
Let's see. Yeah.
that again, see what we
Yeah, we
Yeah.
lost another
my
great
two native.
tonight too, or today.
Oh, did we?
Yes, Betty
That-
White.
and,
Oh.
and it's sad because she
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
make it
Betty
to
White.
100.
I know that was heartbreaking.
17 days and change.
January 17th.
17 days and change.
Right.
And she just
Sad.
had an interview not too long before this. She just had an interview saying, she was looking forward to her 100th birthday and celebrating, and she was in good
Yep.
health and all this stuff.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden, she's gone.
Yeah.
Right.
Last of the
Yeah, but
Golden
you got
Girls.
it.
Sad.
You can't be too sad for her because she lived.
I love her.
incredibly
Everybody loves Betty White.
beautiful
She
Like,
went down an icon, Hollywood
oh yeah,
icon.
oh yeah.
I mean, she
Definitely one of a kind.
I remember watching her on Mary Tyler Moore and having a crush on her character had that crush on Ted Knight.
Yeah.
Ted Knight's character.
Oh, she was funny.
Oh yeah.
or her time on Password.
Yep.
Yeah, she was on there a lot.
Yep. And wasn't she on Hollywood Squares too once in a while?
Yeah, I think she was. And Lisa said that she was married to the host of Password.
Yeah, Alan Ludden.
Yeah.
But I mean, and then her playing such a ditz on the Golden Girls. I mean, oh my God, she did such a wonderful job. No, that's one of those characters that get molded by an actor or an actress that nobody else can play if they ever remade the show and do it right.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't be able to
She
cast
was
that
great.
role.
Well, she outlived her husband by a long, many years. Just it's very similar to George Burns. He was 100 and
Oh yeah, he was
something like that, or something really old, and he outlived his wife Gracie for many years too. So
crazy. Alex.
yeah,
Yeah, he was. I loved him. He was. Oh my God, he was funny. I saw some of his old scandals.
God, and she was still so sharp as a whistle for her age,
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
Yeah,
still just as funny.
you couldn't get nothing past her. I saw her in some of those interviews with like Letterman and Carson and stuff like that, and they couldn't get anything past her. And she was just as quick to snap back to the jokes,
Mhm.
the insults.
she was the last survivor of that Golden Girls. All the
Yes,
others
she was.
died. I think
Was.
she was the youngest, wasn't she, on the show?
Mm-mm.
No, but she's
The one that played
she
the
is
oldest was the youngest, believe it or not. Estelle Getty, the one that played B. Arthur's mom,
Yeah,
she was actually the youngest on that show, believe it or not.
Mhm.
But she played the oldest.
yeah.
All right, you guys. I'm gonna get going,
Yeah, I'm getting kind of.
but I hope you all have a safe and healthy and wonderful New Year
Yeah,
you too.
Same
and
to you.
successful.
I'm gonna be safe. I'm not going nowhere the rest of this weekend.
Nah,
No,
nope,
pretty
I'm
much.
going to get my pajamas on.
We're supposed to get socked in here in Chicago by 6 to 8 inches of snow tomorrow, so we're not coming.
Yeah, we're supposed to be getting some of that
Yeah.
up here too.
Yeah, we got a winter wood
We are too.
under an advisory. Oh, wrong book.
Yeah, all 5 of us here are in the northern tier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ours depends on the wind because we have bands. Sometimes we luck out and it goes up north, and other times it'll drop lower to Indiana and Ohio. But
Yep.
if it comes straight through the Detroit, Ann Arbor, then we're done.
Yeah. All
We start back.
right. Well, you guys have a good night. And we'll see
Janet.
you
We'll
guys
see you
in
later.
a few weeks.
I'm gonna go too. Have a good night.
Yeah. See
All
you,
right.
Cass. And I'm glad things went
Happy
good
New
for
Year.
your
Happy
event you
New
had.
Year.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Yes, have a good New Year. Have a happy
Everybody have
one,
a happy
safe
New
one.
Year.
Enjoy
Stay safe.
enjoy it.
Don't drink and
And,
drive.
We'll get to see each other next year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
All right. Night.
All right.
See
Bye.
See you.
Next week,
They are a couple of great
start
ones.
back. I just want to say this before I forget too. Next week we start back to our full schedule again after taking our hiatus. We got our first guest next Tuesday. So that ought to be interesting. So and then we go from there.
You guys up to seeing a quick video here real quick?
Sure, why not?
And then I'm going to have to probably cut out of here, but hopefully this will play. This is actually a video that was from a documentary. about Moundsville Prison in Moundsville, West Virginia. And this was a psychic actually talking about her feelings about how she's in death row. She's got the worst of the worst here. And as she's talking in one of the jail cells behind her, you see a shadow figure stick their head up, come back in. And they caught it on the camera, but they never said anything about it when they showed it on the show. So they must have thought it was something else, but the camera never moved, and yet something's poked his head out of that the jail cell, clear as day. If you want to see that, I'll show you that real quick here.
Cool.
Yeah, as long as it'll let you share it.
Yeah, I had to convert it to an MP4, so I was doing that while I was talking here.
Frightened per se, but then I'm used to blocking out stuff. What I feel is a sense of desperation, anger, fear, and there are accumulated entities there, but they're all hostile. Every last one of them. So it's like not wise to identify them because you give them more strength. And there's a crew of them at the end there that I just don't want to deal with that. It's too dangerous. It's almost like what you walk into is you walk through the halls and you get the kind of things you would expect in a prison, and suddenly you walk into
I
it's like
see
the
it right
blind
there.
spots of the guards.
But bring it
and
back
you've got
to
these
where her
accumulated
first
deaths.
time on the camera was.
And it's just walk into is you walk through the
That was
halls and you
before
get
that.
the kind of things you would expect in a prison, and suddenly you fear, and there are
All right,
accumulated entities there, but they're all
look
hostile.
behind
Every last
her.
one of them. So it's like not wise
Look
to
at that space back there. That
This
open
back here?
doorway space. You see
This
it?
here? Okay.
identify them because you give them more strength.
Did
and
you
there's
see
a
it?
crew of them at the end
No.
there that
Bring
I
it
just don't
back
wanna
in a
deal
little
with that.
bit
It's too
and watch
dangerous.
it.
Crew of them at the end there
Well,
give them more strength because you give them not wise to identify them because you give them more strength. And there's a crew of them at the end there that I just don't want to deal with that. It's too dangerous.
okay.
It's almost like
It,
what
it
you
looked
walk
like
into is
it
you
looked
walk
like a shadow blocked out the light,
Okay.
Just for
Well, this one is really clear.
and it was a very the last one was, but
through
that
the halls and
but
you
prior
get
to
the kind
that,
of things you would expect in a
it
prison.
looked like
and
a
suddenly you walk
shadow.
into
That I can
it's
see
like
it.
the blind spots of the guards.
There's someone
then you've
in
got these
that.
accumulated.
It looks like there's someone in that cell.
Yeah, he actually pokes his head and his shoulders out like this and then back in. And it was so cool because we were watching it, my friend and when we were at in West Virginia, and we were
And
taking
what's
a
this?
break.
What's this
And I
from?
go, holy cow.
You walk into it's like the blind spots of the guards. Then you've got these.
But what
you
is this
walk
from
into
again?
is you walk.
I'm sorry.
What's it from?
what
This
prison?
is from the documentary called I don't, it escapes me right offhand, but I can get that for you if you want. And
Curious.
we were just watching the documentary when
Walk through the halls and you get the
this
kind of things you
back
would
here.
expect in a prison, and suddenly you walk into it's like the blind spots of the guards. Then you've got these accumulated.
and notice the camera never moved, so it's not like
No.
it's creating a shadow or something by the light. All the jail cells you can see the light coming through, and then this
You're
one.
not gonna get a shadow from the camera there whenever you've got light coming out of the cells onto the floor, which you can actually see. Now
Yeah,
here's the weird thing. Run that back again because you're paying attention to the doorway and what you're seeing. Look at the floor where the light is. Is that light being blocked by what's in that doorway?
Crew of them at the end there that
Shadow there.
I just don't want to deal with that. It's too dangerous.
Right there.
It's almost like what you walk into is you walk through the halls and you get the kind of things you would expect in a prison, and suddenly you walk into it's like the blind spots of the guards.
Turn that back.
Then you've
Put
got
it back
these.
just a little bit.
You walk through the halls and you get the kind of things you would
Yes.
expect in a
Look
prison,
at the
and
light
suddenly
on
you
the
walk
floor. When that
into
thing
it's like
comes
the
out,
blind
it
spots
actually
of the
brightens
guards.
up.
Then you've got these accumulated deaths.
Yeah, but I'm saying it shouldn't brighten up. It should black out.
It should darken out,
And-
but it's already dark. at the moment that you
halls and
start.
you get the kind of things you would expect
See
in a
it?
prison, and suddenly
And
you
then when
walk
it comes to
into,
the
it's
doorway,
like the
it
blind
lightens.
spots of the
It's like
guards, then you've got these accumulated deaths.
it's not in that light anymore.
Yeah. I just thought this was so cool when I saw this, and I go, "You mean the producers of the show never saw this? You're in there filming a documentary about ghosts and psychic impressions, and they don't even catch that shadow figure in the background."
That's fucked up.
Oh, they caught it. It's on camera.
Well,
Yeah, but they didn't say
they're not
anything about
talking about it. They don't. You don't.
They don't
But
mention it.
also though, before that, when you have that far doorway in behind her, it literally looks like something walks past it. Like
Yeah, like
there's something
it,
that
it,
blocks the light.
it only lasts like
And it's a quick second. It's
Yeah,
a very
saw
quick
that too.
second. So I'm
Yeah.
not imagining things. If Joe's seen it too.
Accumulated entities there, but they're all hostile.
course.
Every last one of them. So it's like not wise to
See,
identify them because
watch
you
it
give
back
them
there.
more
You can
strength.
see it. It
And there's a
brightens
crew
up,
of them
and then it
at
looks
the
like
end
something
there
went
that
across.
I just don't want to deal with that. It's too dangerous. It's almost like what you walk into is you walk through the halls and you get the kind of things you would expect in a prison, and suddenly you walk into, it's like the blind spots of the guards.
The whole thing
then you've
is,
got these
though,
accumulated deaths.
it's in that cell. There's nothing in. It's not blocking the light on the floor.
Yeah,
Because if that was a solid person, if that was a person actually in there, it would literally block out that light. But
right.
when it first starts, before you see it, that light is already a little dark on that ground.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to the doorway, it brightens up like there's nothing in its
You
way.
can still see some of it, like right here, a little bit of it, like right here still. So I mean, that's just so crazy. When I saw that, I go, "Whoa!" I said, "Rewind that. Let's see that again." And I'm really shocked that they didn't. The producers of the show never saw that. You're filming a documentary about ghosts. You got ghost footage there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
I have a problem. I don't watch TV much anymore, so I don't see some of the recent stuff, and I wish I would, but this one show just kind of ruined it for me because they were swearing up and down, and then they weren't the only ones. They were swearing up and down that this school was haunted, and it turned out that the students were just doing it for shits and giggles, or they get their little 15 minutes of fame.
Oh,
But
yeah.
but for these shows to actually
You're always
show
griping
that
about
it's
that.
haunted, and you could clearly see that it was a hoax because you could see the fishing line, or why weren't they using the actual high def cameras that you could clearly see instead of the low defs? It just didn't make sense.
yeah,
I question too much, I guess, sometimes on some of these. And
Hey, Dale,
yeah.
when we went out to this and went to for school, and you and Mikey were walking around, and Mikey was actually he was filming you. I think you guys were doing a live shoot for Facebook at that point. That's when Joe and I and one of your other one of your teammates were up in that open window
oh yeah,
above
we were
the
looking
gym.
over the gymnasium. And
Yeah.
And we looked down, and I pointed out and said something about that ball moving. Did you guys get that on video at that point?
I don't know if I actually reviewed all the evidence from that yet. I think I might have gotten some of it, but not all of it yet.
Because that would have been a video that would have been live on Facebook, right?
Yeah, if we were recording it, yeah.
Yeah, because I think you were doing a talk.
he was going down there talking about the history of the school.
Yeah, you were doing a talk of the history, and Mikey was filming you. And
Okay.
I swear that you guys were doing a Facebook Live at that moment.
And we were upstairs.
And that's why I pointed down to you and said something about that ball, because I figured if you were on Facebook Live, maybe you could get him to pan down a little bit and catch that ball moving, because nobody touched it.
That whole place was a strange place.
Yeah, yeah, it was crazy.
First time I've ever had 5 pieces of equipment subsequently fail on my ass.
Yeah. And he gets home and the laptop just logs in just like that.
Yeah. When I
you
got
know,
home,
couldn't even get
Dale,
to the
Dale, when I
laptop.
got home and I charged everything and I plugged the laptop in, I got in on my second try.
Yeah, he kept swearing at the school. He kept swearing, "I swear I got the right password. I swear I
Yeah.
typed in the right
And I
password."
was typing it
It wasn't
in
letting him in.
correctly,
It wasn't even letting him
and
pass
it was not letting me in.
the login screen.
I got home and I typed the exact same thing in on my second try, and it popped it open for me.
They didn't want to open up and let you have anything.
And of course, I had all those pieces of equipment just subsequently fail. Totally fail.
But I found the most fascinating.
Well, you see all this paperwork right here? This is what I still have to catch up on for 2021.
Wow, I couldn't believe what we experienced at that school. You
Yeah.
know,
It
I
was
mean,
interesting.
when we went into that boiler room, you could feel like an eerie dark presence
You
there.
could feel the
And then,
presence.
and then when he started his little EVP session there, and all them different voices and emotions were coming out of those people as they were answering, it was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know, it was a lot of energy in that one little room, boiler room there.
That was my second time there, and I tell you that was the more active time. That the first time wasn't quite as active as the second time I was there, because maybe somebody before we got there stirred things up or something. I mean, who knows? But I mean, it was never that active before.
Maybe I was there on the right day.
Yeah, yeah.
That stuff happened. I mean, it was just
Well,
a eerie feeling. And the closer I got to that one room, that when you were in that boiler room, and then there was that tiny little room at the very end.
Yeah.
That room, I didn't even want to step into that room.
Well, the one that kind of creeped me out a little bit, and I don't get creeped out very easy, is in the boiler room when you went down that narrow hallway. It was kind of a narrow hallway.
yeah, where it went to nothing. It just,
Yeah.
it just.
I mean,
ended.
that to me was kind of creepy. I mean, it just got me,
Mhm.
gave me the heebie-jeebies.
It just makes you think what might have happened in that boiler room.
Yeah.
Back then when that school was first built and stuff. Ugh. Yeah.
Well, it's supposed to be an evil janitor or an evil custodian that had done some stuff there to students or to people there. So maybe that negativity is part of what we were picking up.
Maybe that's where somebody got the story about Freddy Krueger from.
Don't know.
Yeah.
But I know that.
I mean, that was like that boiler room was just had
I
this
know that whatever happened there. I mean,
bad vibe.
myself. I think I gotta blame myself for all that because
I blame you for everything.
for my equipment subsequently failing like it did. I have to blame myself because I went in that boiler room before anybody else, and I started provoking.
Uh-oh.
That's what you got to stop doing.
Why? If there's a malicious entity or energy in any of the places we go, I want to provoke it because I want it to come at me. I want it to
Follow you home.
do what it needs to do or wants to do because if I can, I'll catch it on video.
And what are you going to do if it follows you home?
It would be very ignorant to follow me home.
Okay. Anyway, I'm getting tired. I've had a long.
Yeah.
I don't get out too often in the winter time, and when I do and I start walking around, I do.
Yeah, we don't let him out of his cage very often.
Don't bite me. I hibernate in the winter. I try to as much.
Maybe we can do something together in 2022.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
that'd be great, man. We'll work something up.
I still got.
I've
I'm backed up. I still got the Iowa footage put together. I've still got Bray Road.
Have
What
you guys ever been to the First Ward Schoolhouse?
No,
It's in Wisconsin.
I've got a place here in Wisconsin that I'm working on getting us into. Well, there's two places. The one I have a feeling we're going to be in there immediately as soon as the thaw. Because I was talking to the woman that owns it and runs it. It's up in the Horicon Marsh.
Okay.
And the other one is the old children's hospital that's now
Okay, hold on a
the
second here. Let's end this quick.
all
So I
right.
can stop the broadcast and keep talking.
Well, fine.
All right. So we'll see y'all next week. Everybody stay safe. Have a safe and happy new year, and we'll see y'all in 2022. We're out of here.